another episode of Top Shelfers podcast. Tonight we are sponsored by Monarch Social. Are you looking to take the next step and get your own website? Look no further than Monarch Social. Affordable, cutting edge, and designed with the user experience in mind. Monarch Social will not only get your website started for you, they can also host it and get you set up with a starter SEO package. Head over to monarchsocialbrand.com for more information. Secondly, we're sponsored by Dark Prime Collectibles. With the new Magic the Gathering set, 6 Strixhaven hitting the stores, you might be wondering the best location to purchase them. Head up to Dark Prime Collectibles in Clearfield, Utah, or you can head over to their website, Dark Prime Collectibles. They are going to attempt to keep the set in store, which is difficult right now. But if they don't have that, you'll get lost in their other amazing products they offer, from action figures, Legos, gaming, and tons of pop culture related items. Head over to darkprimecollectibles.com or check out their location up in Clearfield, Utah. And last but not least, Heppius. It's the #1 place to go for premium CBD that won't break the bank. It is locally owned and sourced here in Utah. It is safe for work, meaning no THC, and they have something for everyone. I personally use their #2 broad spectrum. I'm almost out. Been using it daily. Love it. You can head over to happiestmed.com. That is HEPIUSMED.com. Thank you, sponsors. The mess around is back.
Mess around.
Better than ever.
What was that one?
I'm not sure. It just came out of me. I took a nap earlier today, and I feel like it was like the sitting phlegm that was just waiting to arise. You know?
Well, with these allergies lately, it's been a fucking...
This spring, I know that it's been raining and all that stuff, but like, you know, I'll go out, my eyes start watering, and I'm like, Mother Nature, I love you, but please stop this.
Hey, Mother Nature, I'm gonna need you to relax with your whoring.
Yeah, excuse me. All of your shit is getting in my eye or falling to yourself.
Yeah,
I literally can't breathe. I would appreciate you if you step back from the throat game.
Personal space. You know what I wish would stop being planted? Those fucking trees with the white flowers.
The pussy trees.
The fucking pussy trees
Yeah.
that are really pretty but smell like goddamn coochie.
Yeah.
That's what they smell like.
When we were in high school, I remember, I think you brought it up, you were like, we walked past one time, and you were like, I call those pussy trees. And I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, because it smells like coochie, right? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, whoa.
See, I always thought they smelled like pee. But coochie, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like almost like sweet enough where it's like kind of feminine, but like hella coochie smelling.
But hella coochie smelling. Yeah.
I have them all over work, and I remember once walking out of work, and I'm like, I love the smell of coochie in the morning.
Right there.
Right there.
Coochie in the morning.
I see those pussy trees over there.
Let's get a waft.
Okay, yeah, coochie.
Yeah, coochie. That's what I thought it was. Yeah.
I got coochie on my mind.
Coochie.
Coochie.
Yeah. I got coochie on my bed.
I spilled on myself.
Oh no. One down.
I totally missed my mouth on that one. That smelled like
Did you get it in your other throat?
Yeah, the second throat.
Second throat.
Don't make fun of me because I'm more anatomically cooler than you guys.
How wild that'd be, you just have a second throat.
You're just like, it literally like separates and goes like this. And I'd be like,
you good?
Hold up, wait a minute. How have I not known about this, first of all? And then third of all, how are you able to utilize that?
Throat game strong, baby.
Throat game strong. That guy got 3,000 on another level.
In times it by 2, they call me the 6,000. I just want to know if you could have like 2 voices. How cool would that be? You're just talking, and then it just switches, and you're like, "Oh, hi, I'm doing great." I would do that just for that.
You just like switch back and forth from the voices. Then you can prank call people like crazy.
Dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
was just telling somebody recently about the prank calls that we made one Halloween. Was it Halloween? Right?
Yeah, that was great.
I was pissing myself. I literally was laughing so hard.
My most excellent executed joke ever. And I won't say the gentleman's name, but I will tell the whole story because I don't give a fuck about him. But I will call him Tony. Tony. So Tony, lost, the short story is Tony lost his virginity to this girl who said she lost her virginity to him, find out she didn't, and then one day I, for some reason, came up with this joke in my head, and I was like, alright, I need to tell Cass this is fucking hilarious. So I go up to Cass and I'm like, hey, so you know Tony, and you know how that Tony like lost his virginity to his girlfriend at the time who said she was a virgin but wasn't, because she was like sleeping with a lot of dudes at the time.
Yeah, and she's like, but I'm a virgin.
But I'm a virgin.
That's how that works. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But and I was like, well, apparently, because we still have friends that are close to him. I was like, so I just found out that Tony got diagnosed with something from her.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Do you want to know what it is? Ligma.
God,
We called probably like 5 different people just to tell them that story, for them to be like, then I could be like, Ligma.
Ligma. And then we ended the call with Ligma Balls, son. And then we hung up. Or like...
Ligma Balls, son.
Ligma Balls, son. But we called Kai one time. One of them, and he literally was like, "Oh, fuck you guys."
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like, because if anything, I would have heard it from Kai himself.
Yeah,
because he was friends with him at the time. Because I remember telling that to Cass, and then she was like,
"So funny."
She was like, "Holly, you should tell Nate what happened to Tony." And I was like, "Oh yes, I should tell Nate what happened to Tony." And then Nate's literally like, that was the funniest fucking thing. Started calling people himself.
You're like, listen to what
like,
happened.
He's like, listen to the story that Holly just told me, and like gives me the phone.
It's crazy. One of my friends actually got drugma.
Drugma?
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 Yeah, drug my nuts across your face.
Oh man.
Drugma.
Drugma nuts.
Bofa.
Bofa
these nuts.
Classic.
I used to do a lot of prank calling before cell phones were like super popular.
Yeah.
It's like I would just be like, I got a cell phone, just punch in an 801 number.
Yeah.
Just be like,
Yeah.
Your refrigerator runs. And then like it got serious to the point where I called enough people where they were like, hey, we're gonna like turn you in. I'm like, oh. Ligma.
Sugma.
Well, don't turn me into the Sugma authorities.
No, suck my balls.
Suck my balls.
Oh, God.
Oh, Nick Joy. Hi there.
Hello.
Oh, hello, fellow sexy person.
Fellow sexy.
Welcome. Oh, welcome.
Welcome.
So tonight we decided to get together, the Holly and Kass Topshelfers mess around collab.
Yes.
How's the podcast been going anyways? How are you guys doing?
Good. I mean, we still get like consistent watchers and comments.
Yeah.
Mostly that is we get a lot of comments still, which is really good.
Now that we're living separately, it is a little harder to like get together and do it. We're doing it mostly at her place because we tried at my place once.
That was
the Wi-Fi. I don't know what was going on, but it kept like shutting down.
The entire. I think we started 3. No, I know we started twice, and by the third time we couldn't even go a full hour until we were both like, okay, like this is just not even fun.
Yeah.
You can't see us, you can't hear us.
Yeah.
The first time we did it at my house, it shut off once.
Yeah.
But then the second time it did just fine. I think if we start around 7 and then go till 9, we won't have that issue. It's just that weird 9 o'clock hits and like everyone's on the internet at my house. Because the internet is like, it's fiber internet, which is why I was so mad.
You were like, dude, what the heck?
It stopped. Cause
yeah, that's weird. If you have fiber, it should definitely be working really well.
I think the problem is, too, the internet was built into the apartment, so everyone uses the same internet.
Yeah.
But
still, though, like, fiber's pretty bitchin'.
Yeah, but I mean, the second time we did it, we had no issues. Yeah. And, like, our drop frame only was, like, up max 32%, which was much better than the first 2 times.
Yeah.
The first 2 times
it was like
70.
It literally was getting to 70 and 90, and then that's when it like starts shutting us down, and we were like, okay, never mind. We're just gonna cut this short just because it's not possible right now. People can't hear us.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to figure out a way
do it at your house?
Do it at our but right now we're mostly just doing it at hers.
Yeah, well, until you get settled into your office as well, then we can like actually like put time into it.
I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
No.
So no, there's a lot of stuff in there, and it's not getting emptied out necessarily like I was told.
This office at work or at home?
No, it was at home.
Oh.
So there's like an extra room because I like basically moved from a house just to a room. And so I had a lot of stuff, and they're like, oh, we're going to give you these 2, and then you can basically use one as an office, we'll just need to like clear out all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then the stuff was never cleared out, and so it's just a mix of like my stuff and my brother's stuff, and like there's bunk beds in there, and like all this stuff that it's like to a point where I can't really put anything anywhere or organize it, and so I've just been using my room, but my room is kind of separated from. I think also my room just doesn't get good Wi-Fi as well.
That could also be it too.
Because that other room was where my brother used to do like gaming and stuff like that, and so there should be at least like a good reach over there.
Well, in general, Wi-Fi isn't the best for streaming, just because it's the unstable potential that is always rough.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have Xfinity or anything like that, but I have a Wi-Fi extender, and what it does is it's like an adapter you plug in the wall. It has antennas that's specifically to gather Wi-Fi, and then you can hardwire from that into your computer or laptop.
Oh.
I believe they're only like $20.
Oh, sweet.
And then you can get an Ethernet cable for something.
And it's like, someone who works at Best Buy that can get you a hella good discount.
That's true!
Shouts out Best Buy!
Shouts out Best Buy! Shouts out my humans.
Who commented here? Hello?
Yo!
What's good?
Yo, what's poppin'?
White knuckle grip!
So we got together tonight to do a horror episode.
Yes.
Because we've been talking about this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We're all horror fans. And I
Yeah.
just figured now... Because I don't know what it is. I always go through phases where, like, obviously when fall hits, it's like, oh, I'm in the mood. It's horror
Yeah.
time.
It's horror season.
But,
Horror
like,
clock.
with the weather lately, like, where, like, yesterday it was all gray and gloomy and rainy,
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, it's like the mood.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a vibe.
and I don't know, I just feel like you guys have both been into horror for years and years and years, so I figure we should probably do a deep dive into some horror. But you're both wearing very, very well themed
creep show.
Tales from the Crypt.
Midsommar. I only wore this one because I knew she was wearing her creep show on, because there's been an occasion where we've both been wearing the same midsummer shirt.
Yeah, because we have similar ones.
We have a lot of matching shirts that are horror shirts from this Shouts Out Studio House Designs. They have really cool art print shirts, and that are especially horror themed ones.
One of you guys have a dope long sleeve one. I don't remember. Is that...
It was probably both of us.
Both of us
had
I have 3 different midsummer ones.
Yeah.
For on the occasions where I spill on myself and it stains, I have another one. So it's still
At least we don't
fresh.
drink red. That would suck.
Oh,
dude, I would be panicking. I'd be like, well, my nipples are going to show for sure on the stream.
You're like,
I doubled up on shirts. That might have been TMI, but I feel like we're all family here.
Yeah.
No,
it's like the Olive Garden.
Twitch is typically about it. They're like,
nipples.
Are those nipples?
Is that a camel toe I see? Can you stand up a little bit more?
Excuse me, come closer to the camera.
Can we
like to see the
before we get into horror talk? I know you guys. Do you guys dabble at all in Twitch, like outside of what you do in the podcast?
On occasion,
bit, but not much.
Did you see? And this is a very controversial topic, so y'all can fuck off with your opinions. But the girl in the queef.
Oh wait, no, not the queef. I thought you were talking about the pool.
No,
pool
not
girl.
the pool. Pool girl was something, but
Yeah.
No,
what about the queef?
so I've only seen the clip. Okay.
Yeah.
And like it's this lady, and she's like, "Oh, I can queef on command," and she's like, "You guys want to see?" And she's like joking and laughing, and she grabs her mic, like Blue Yeti, and puts it, and you can hear it go, and then she just fucking blasts, just started blasting, and like I watch it, I'm like, that's funny. That's funny.
That's funny.
That was a quality queef. She got banned.
What?
Twitch banned her.
From queefing?
And I was like, I got mad because I'm like, I don't know the build up. I don't think it was anything sexual. I think it was all funny.
It was funny.
But there's like guys who have like fart mics.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
It's just sucking air in and farting it out.
When she fucking said, like, it killed me when she was all like, I can do it on command, and then she pulls her mic down, and you just hear, I was like, oh my god, and I'm rolling on the floor laughing, and Yeah, she got perma banned.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my, I would
Damn.
be pissed. I'd be
Yeah.
like, are you kidding me? That's also because I know that it was kind of like this trend on TikTok for a bit where girls would queef
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
man.
yeah.
And I every single time, like it's so funny, but I'm also so impressed. I'm like, how do you do
It's
that?
like the guys that can suck in air to their butthole and fart on command.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same concept to me because it's like that's impressive if you can control your body in a certain way where you suck in air somehow.
Yeah.
Especially with your coochie crevice.
Yeah. And then just, you know.
Yeah.
With your ham wallet.
I know. I
I
made the best tree ever, and I was really disappointed that no one fucking saw it. I tweeted, I'm dressing up as a Blue Yeti microphone for TwitchCon next year.
Anybody want to queef on me?
I hashtag, what did I say? Queef conspiracy or queef something.
Queef conspiracy. Conspiracy to queef.
Yeah, and I was like, man.
Oh, hello, B-Bird.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
So it's tough to jump into horror, but I want to know,
yes.
like, me and you talked about our first experiences with horror
Mm-hmm.
as like our movies.
Mhm.
Yours was
When a Stranger Calls.
When a Stranger Calls.
That's a spooky one.
Yeah, that's a tough one to start on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was yours? Do you remember?
My first horror movie I ever watched was most of Jeepers Creepers, which is not a good one because I was like under the age of 10. But then when I was turning 13. My mom loves horror with all her heart, and the last time I saw her, she was dating this guy whose son, who was 6 fucking years old, was watching all the horror movies, all the Saw movies,
Ooh.
like all the movies. They had no restrictions on what he watched. He just watched whatever because she just had a bin of horror movies, and he had the dad had like just a shit ton of like on demand ones. So he would just like to the point where I wasn't comfortable because I didn't really watch horror movies after Jeepers Creepers because it spooked the fuck out of me. That's a hard one to watch.
That's a hard start.
That's a hard start. But that time was like, because he was super into horror, but like there was one time where I was left alone with them. And so I was playing with his youngest, who was like 2 or 3. And so we were just playing blocks, and his son was just watching Saw. I left the room because I was like uncomfortable with Saw. It was like, because I don't remember what Saw it was, but it was the one where they're chained together, and it was like in the middle of a mall, and they have to pull each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one he started, and I just left the room and played blocks with the other child, because he was 6 years old. Anyways, doesn't matter. But during that time, my first actual horror movie where I sat down and like wanted to watch was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm.
And then from there it just started, because then like I didn't watch a super ton, but then I started dating my first boyfriend, Zach, who was super into horror, and he was like, let me show you some horror. And that's where my love of the remake of Evil Dead starts. It's because he showed me that, and I watched it like 4 more times after that. And then from there, horror
Which remake of Evil Dead? Like the more recent
the
one?
most recent one, because there was Evil Dead 2, and then Evil Dead Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Or just Army of Darkness. And then the remake.
The one where it was really good.
It was really good.
Yeah, they do the nail gun scene.
Yeah, the nail gun scene and the one syringe on the eyeball. It hits me every time. Because we watched that one, but then from there, because he just...
hey, Queen.
Hey, Queens. But from there, he helped me get into horror, because he also worked at Top Hat. So he would... It was so sweet, though, because, like, even though we weren't dating anymore, I would still go there, rent a shit ton of movies. I'd, like, pay the bare minimum, and then every late fee, he would just waive for me.
My guy.
I had, like, a $50 late fee, and he was like, just pay the rent fee. And so, yeah, but he got me...
Dude, he's a homie.
Fully into horror, because I was already kind of into it, but then he, like... showed me the good ones, because then he also showed me Halloween remake, the Rob Zombie one, and then from there I knew I was just a slasher girl. From there, I was like, that's my place.
I'm sorry to hear that, Casey.
Oh no!
You're not done today?
Screw him.
Yeah.
His loss.
Want me to go poop on his lawn?
Yeah, you want to go? Should we go beat him up? We got swords.
Yeah, actually, we have a ton.
We have 4 swords, so everyone can have a
Everybody
sword.
can join in and hack and slash.
Yeah, you could take it's like the William Wallace Claymore. Like you just
you take that one and we full on charge.
Yeah. screaming they'll never take our freedom, and then show our
freedom. Actually, that was the first R-rated movie that I ever watched.
William Wallace. Oh, Braveheart. That's a good ass one.
That's
watch.
one of my dad's favorite movies, especially then. And it was during the time where, like, you know, my parents were still pretty like religious and whatnot. My dad not so much, and so he was watching it, and I watched it with him. My mom walks in and goes, "Michael."
Well, aside from like violence, I mean, you see some man butt.
Yeah, I think you see some man butt. You see somebody like hanging from the barn.
Oh yeah.
And like all that.
I think the worst
there's a rape
one
scene.
in Braveheart. I haven't watched it in a long time.
It's been
it's been a minute.
I think the worst
remember.
scene, violence-wise, is the maced face where he has the fucking. That's a great one.
Yeah,
I can't remember if we talked about my first horror experience because I don't remember.
What's your first horror experience?
My parents have always been into it, but they were very, very like, you should probably wait to like really get into horror.
Yeah.
So we'd watch, like, they would sprinkle in some like decent ones.
Yeah.
It was either Halloween, the original Halloween.
That's it. OG one.
Which, rough.
Yeah.
Rough to watch that one first. Because you're like, oh, he kills just people because he wants to.
Yeah.
And then he can't die. And you're like, oh, that's awfully horrible.
Yeah.
I think where I remember having my first like experience where I'm like it creeped me out was, and I still have it somewhere. What it was is a DVD like compilation video of like horror movies, like the best clips from horror movies, and it was like,
oh, that's cool.
It was like 30 or 40 of them, and all of the popular ones.
Yeah.
Like Chainsaw Massacre, Leprechaun.
Yeah.
You know, you name it, it was on there,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up until like maybe the early 2000s. And I remember like my parents getting it, they're like, you can't watch this. Because I'm like, I want to watch it. And they're like, no, like, you can't watch it.
Yeah.
And then like being an only child and no one being here, I'd be like, I'm going to fucking watch that.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it for the first time, just haunted me for like several years.
Yeah.
Because like I would like watch like 2 scenes and then I'd be like freaked out and I'm like here alone. I'm like, I can't watch it anymore. So it took like 5 months to get through it. But I don't know what it is. For me, when I was getting into horror, it was almost like I liked getting super scared.
Yeah.
Like almost like a weird like adrenaline masochist type thing where it was like being scared plus being home alone was like just made everything just like super intense. The problem is now movies just don't scare me, but I love them.
Yeah.
What was the last horror movie that scared you guys? They actually scared.
We know.
Scared you?
Wait,
Yeah, I was thinking of a different one, but then I looked at you and I was like, oh wait, no, that one was bad. I kind of like low key, high key, just blocked that from my memory.
No, I blocked it. I was talking to a friend recently about kind of like horror movies, and I was like, oh, the last one that like really like scared the shit out of me. Like I literally had trouble sleeping for the next week, probably. Not the next week, but like the next few nights at least. And then I just kind of kept thinking about it, was the Poughkeepsie tapes.
You two told me about this the night you watched it.
Yeah.
It's on Prime. I recommend it, but let me tell you, it is haunting.
Yeah.
Because the way they do it is in the sense of like true crime, like a Netflix documentary style, like a documentary on this killer.
Yeah.
But it was a lot more than what we signed up for, to be honest.
It was literally because we were watching it, and I mean, there's a lot of torture in it, and there's a lot of torture scenes, and it's all made up as if they like basically like the synopsis is they find these tapes from this like serial killer, and he apparently would carry around a camera with him wherever he went. And whenever he did stuff, and so he even documented like his first kill, like his first kidnap, and he like goes and like kidnaps a little girl, and then they like found her body later and all that stuff. But they try to chase him around, and he like will leave clues on purpose for the police to try and find him, and he like sets them up. Yeah. And they find these tapes that he leaves for them, but he took some out. Like they're not all the tapes.
Yeah, like you never see his face in them.
Yeah, so you never see his face, you never see anything that kind of like clues into who he is, but you watch it, and so you're technically seeing a lot of it from his perspective. And we were watching one of the scenes where it was like this really brutal torture scene, and our roommate at the time, Aiden, walks in and goes, oh, because he's not a horror fan. He does not like gore or anything. And he's like, I'm going to go back to my room, actually. And then when he came back out later on, he was like, how did you guys find that? Why were you guys watching that? Because he apparently thought that we were genuinely watching, like, torture porn.
Oh, he genuinely thought we were just pulling up torture porn.
Yeah, because it was so realistic that he thought it was real.
That was the hard part. Like, there was parts in the movie where I just, like, had to look down, where I was just like, there's a little bit. I love horror, and I don't mind guts and gore, but there's a point.
Is it really that bad?
It's rough. I mean, because the thing
part of me wants to watch it again. Is that bad of me?
No, it is a sick fuck part of you.
Yeah.
But
and it's not real. It's a fiction.
It's fake. It makes it seem so real.
And they take a lot of pieces from like prolific serial killers and kind of basically mix all the terrible things into just one person.
Yeah.
And make it like the biggest serial killer that ever lived. And like there's like a part I was like, oh, this sneaky bastard. I was so shocked just how it was done because he ends up like kidnapping and killing this couple. And at first they thought it was somebody else or something, and they couldn't figure out where the couple went missing. They couldn't figure out where the body was, and they were like, well, if they like turned off over here, maybe something happened. And so they went and checked out the gas stations, and over at the gas station they checked the cameras, and this guy with like he has a hat, glasses, like he's unrecognizable, goes to like fill up like the couple's car, like after he killed them, basically, is filling up the car and then starts signing to the camera to tell them where to find the body, and then drives away and dumps the car and all that stuff. And so they find the car, they find all the stuff, and they find the bodies, but they don't know where he is.
That's brilliant.
Right? Yeah, because the movie gave me the fucking willies, to be honest, because like I couldn't use the bathroom for like a week.
Because there was a scene with where the girl shower. He like goes into some girl's house and literally just sets the camera on a shelf and then just hides in her closet for like hours.
I'm curious from your two perspective, being women in, the horror fandom, like, do movies hit you different, especially when it's like guys murdering women? Because it's like, not only is society that's more like of a common thing, but like they do it so often in horror movies where it's kind of like the stereotypical like guy chases after a girl, either kills or she gets away. Like, does that add to the terror for you guys? Because it's like you could put yourself in those situations. Because typically when I watch like horror movies like that, I'm like, well, I mean, worst case scenario, I try and fight him back and maybe I can defeat him, maybe I can't.
Yeah.
But like in some cases, like, if it's a ginormous man chasing after Holly, it might be more difficult to fight back.
This totally makes me think of like when we were getting roasted by our friend recently about checking each other's location, because I'll like check Holly's location and stuff like that. And he's like, that's weird, that's kind of stalkerish. And I'm like, excuse me, she's an easily kidnappable girl. And like, I'm less so. After reading Silence of the Lambs, I kind of got instilled with the fear because I'm the perfect size for a skin suit. But
oh no!
I am. I'm the exact same size, but I have tattoos, so I don't know if that changes anything. So I don't know.
He would look at you. He'd be like, grab me like, tainted.
Tainted. I'd be like, ooh, sorry, I moisturized now.
It puts the lotion on the skin, it doesn't get the hose again.
God, those movies and books are so fucking good.
They're so good.
When I had my interview, because I got a new job at a bookstore, and the guy asked me, because the thing is, it's always like a first date thing when they're like, what's your favorite movie, what's your favorite book? I instantly go to my go-tos, because he's like, what's your favorite book, or what you've been reading recently? And I was like, oh, I reread The Hunger Games, and I read The Silence of the Lambs. I was like, that was a year ago, but he didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But I was just like, because like he was like, describe a book. And the only thing I could think of is Silence of the Lambs. So like, I described it, and I was like, he's like, why would you recommend this? And I think I did so good on that interview, because the thing is, I explained Silence of the Lambs in such a good way, in the fact of like, I've never read a book that was so accurate to the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
But in a sense of, like, I'd still recommend the book only because it puts it in a different perspective of, like, you get a little bit more of the details, especially in the hindsight of Hannibal and, like, I then went on for, like, 5 minutes about Silence of the Lambs, and he was like, you would do really good in the thriller section. And I was like,
Goddamn right.
I was like, I would, but, like, I love those saucy romances. But
like, bouncing back and forth, brother.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a best of both worlds.
But I feel like your question was really good. I don't feel like horror movies scare me so much in the sense of, like, because it's like a woman getting chased. I think honestly I've already had that ingrained fear as a woman that when I see horror movies it's kind of like the running joke that, like, the black guy always dies first. Mm-hmm. So that's why I honestly don't even think about the women, because as long as, like, they're white, I don't think about it. It's their ethnicity that I'm like, let's see how long they last.
That is a weird trope that they had for a long time in movies. Like, I know, like, Family Guy did that. Is like it was either the whoever was not white would die first, which is kind of low key fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the horror movies did that. I don't know if that was just a trope that they. I wonder where that started. What movie that started?
I think it was Night of the Living Dead.
Oh.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because I wonder if it was a thing that was them paying, like, homage to that then, or if it was just kind of like a trope that, like, caught on. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was kind of also to, like, the time period, just like
probably racism, just like like the black man ever won. It's always like the white girl or the strong black or white man.
Yeah. Because, like, horror movies make fun of it now, which I think is great.
I think it is too, because it's like that newest one, Freak.
Oh, Freaky, yeah.
Which is like basically it's like Freaky Friday but with a serial killer.
Oh yeah.
Actually, a really good.
It was really good.
I thought it looked kind of silly, but
it's silly. It's like a comedy.
It's like a comedy horror, but it's really good. But the thing is, they made a joke of like the girl. She's like, "I'm a black woman, you're a gay man. Of course we're gonna die first. We gotta run." But I don't know, because now everyone pays nod to it. I mean, like, Get Out, his friend's like, you're going to a white town?
Yeah.
You're going to die, dude.
Get Out, okay. Before we get into his movies, because those are a whole conversation. The last movie that really scared me, and I don't mean this to be, like, arrogant or whatever, there was two, and they were both when I was younger. Mm-hmm. Signs?
Yeah.
And it was just the one scene.
Where it's like...
Because M. Night Shyamalan, I can argue on why he's brilliant and also probably the worst movie director. Mm-hmm. Like,
he's the best of both worlds. He's the best of both worlds of hating and loving him.
I feel like there's no middle ground with him. Either he makes a banger of a movie or it sucks. And Signs was the only one where I was like, whoa, this is decent. Yeah. But there was parts in it that were dumb. Like the baseball bat scene, swing away. I was like, that's the corniest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But they did such a good job of building up this, like, anticipation of, like, oh my god, is this aliens? Are they going crazy? Where that scene where it's the video recording the alien just, like, haunted me.
Yeah.
I saw somebody tweet that out recently.
Yeah.
Where it was just like it was like a gif of it, and people were like, I still think about this to this day.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and I was like, oh.
The other one was Blair Witch.
That makes sense.
Because that was the first movie that I ever watched that was found footage, and no one wanted to explain to poor little young Wes that found footage didn't mean that it was real, that it was still fake. Yeah. So for a long period of my life, I thought that Blair Witch was 100% a thing, and that if I stumble into the wrong woods, I'm gonna get fucking murdered.
I'm gonna get caught.
I remember, I've never told this story before. I remember I lived in Washington this time, and I was probably in like 7th or 8th grade. I remember going to this park, and I remember seeing like this thing hanging from the tree, like some little like knick-knack, and like it all flooded back to me. I'm like, oh my god, this is the moment I fucking die because of Blair Witch.
You're like, this is where I die. This is where I get got. I'm going to be a statistic.
Now, with that being said, though, there are a lot of movies that have been well done to the point where I'm like, and that was creepy. I have to say, the first Paranormal Activity, I still think is a great movie. The other really 8 that came after it, probably not so great, but...
I like them in a sense of, like, I like the storyline of them. Like, the Nun. The Nun, I thought was pretty good. I like The Nun. Mostly also because the one chick from American Horror Story's in it, and I'm a slut for girls.
She's cool.
But I would say the last, like, besides the Poughkeepsie tape, the last movie that, like, actually kind of spooked me a lot was Lights Out. I hate to admit it because I was, like, grown adult when it came out. I was 19. But that movie was fucking creepy.
Which one was Lights Out?
Lights Out was based off of, do you remember the short clip on YouTube where it was like they would turn off the lights and then there was like a shadow of a person?
Yeah.
And they made a movie off of that.
Oh.
And so I'd recommend watching it because one, it's a really good movie, actually.
It actually is like pretty scary.
It's actually a pretty good movie, but that movie actually terrified me because I've always been a little bit scared of the dark. Yeah. Like, I'm fine with it now. Like, I can't sleep with lights on. I have to be in total darkness. But that movie made me think about it, though. A little too much.
I used to be really scared of the dark. Not in the sense that I always, like, until, I hate to admit this, but probably until high school, maybe, like, mid-high school, I couldn't sleep in the dark.
Oh.
I had to have a TV on or something going because, like, and even still to this day, like, I'll have a fan on because, like, the complete silence, like, bothers me.
Yeah.
But, like, I used to have a TV on because, like, I would just, like, get in my own head of, like, what was that noise? And then I would, like, sit there and, like, just ponder. I'm like, I have 4 cats in this house. It's probably just a cat. But what if someone's in the house?
What if? I literally... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. What are you saying?
I've gotten to a point where, like, also, where, like, the house that we lived in...
I literally just bring up something about the house.
The house that we lived in was very scary.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of got to a point... And also, I used to live in a house that was, like... low-key haunted when I was like younger, like in junior high into high school. I've gotten to a point where like I'm like scared of the dark, but for some reason I don't necessarily get scared. Like I'll get scared, but I'll just be like, stop. Yeah. Like if something happens or like if I see like a corner, I'm like, I will literally speak to it as if it's like a real thing, and I'll be like, "No, don't you do that!
Mind your business.
Excuse me, go back where you came from. Also, help me."
What I realized with that house we lived in, because I had a lock on my door, I felt pretty like secure enough that like I felt safe enough that I could ignore sounds. To the point where I realized how much I just blew off sounds as to either be like, oh, it's Cass or Aiden, or it's legitimately just the house being haunted. Because when I moved into my dad's place, it's a brand new apartment, and like, so like I didn't have a fan for a while, so I didn't have any noise, and it was awful until I bought one. But I remember hearing something when I was like falling asleep, and I was like, oh, it's just Aiden. And then I jolted awake, and I'm like, no, I don't live there anymore. What was that? And then I had to go and investigate because I got so scared of that sound because I didn't have a fan to mask it. And I realized that I didn't live at that place anymore, that any sound I hear is actually something to worry about. Because I realized how much I just blew off. Like, I was just like, I don't want to acknowledge what happens in that house.
Yeah, no, we'd just kind of be like, we'd like see something, and we'd be like, oh, that's crazy.
So, this house is actually kind of interesting. And Kaylee, if you're still here, you can kind of talk on this. Her and I, when she came into the podcast, her and I talked about it. And she's a little bit more, or she's a lot more sensitive to energies than I am. Yeah. And she even said that, you know, she felt something here. But I don't know what it is. It could have been the fact that we opened it. There's a Dybbuk box sitting on this desk, or, you know, I got the Ouija board. But there was a story from my youth that still to this day, it doesn't haunt me, but it still freaks me out. We were all asleep. My room used to be upstairs. And I remember, God, this was a long time ago. Basically, we got woke up because we heard a door slam. Okay, and immediate thought, Holly thought, home invasion.
Yeah. Home invasion.
You know.
My number one true fear.
Yeah. So I remember, like, I heard it, and I got up out of my bed, and I saw my dad running out of the room with a bat. Like, what was that? And, like, I was like, I don't know. And then he, like, booked down the hallway. And I'm like, oh, my God, like, there could be someone in this house. Yeah. So, like, I grabbed something in my room, like, young me thinking I would do anything. Yeah. And started going after him. And we searched this whole entire house. Nothing. None of the doors were open. None of the doors had, like, this door's never locked, but it wasn't open. Our front door was locked, and our back door was locked. So no one would have gotten in. Yeah. And then there was windows open, but there's no doors that would swing. Like, we just don't have the wind would have to literally blow super hard to like slam a door. We would have known what door it was because we would have seen it.
Yeah.
And like no doors were closed that weren't already closed. So we start like, we're all awake at this point, and we start like testing the doors. That one is the one that when we like started slamming the doors to see what one it was, that was the one that was closest to the sound we heard. And that does not go outside. So, I mean, I'm always one that tries to play, like, you know, find the explanation. We have cats. Maybe the door wasn't closed all the way. The cat got in there and maybe, like, a gust of wind slammed it.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's theories. But to add on top of it, we've had the Ouija board do stuff here. But I don't know what it could be. There's no one... we were the first owners. I don't think this land was anything like, I don't think Native Americans own this land. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think there was any burial sites here that we know of. I couldn't tell you. I've talked to people. A lot of people think maybe I have something latched onto me. But before I started doing any Ouija board type shit, this was well before it.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
Still can't explain it. But it was one of those moments where it was like, is there something else, or is it just your mind?
Yeah.
Our house was definitely haunted. We had this shoe rack. It was a rogue.
It was a rug.
Damn it, Farky. What's up, man? Miss you. Hope you're doing well.
Our house was definitely haunted. We had this shoe rack behind the couch, and every time anyone had a nightmare, it would legitimately fall over.
Oh,
And
wow.
like the shoes, the thing is like it looked like somebody like tossed our shoes everywhere all around the room.
It basically looked like someone like grabbed the shoe rack, shoved everything off, and then put it back.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the shoe rack
The
would
shoe rack would
up.
still be up
It's just all
Really?
of the shoes would be off the shoe rack.
and like spread around the house.
Because when I went, I was I was only over at your guys' house once, and we didn't ever get on the subject of it being haunted. But I don't know.
You're like,
I'm not one though. I'm not one like some people where they can go into places and be like, oh, it feels weird here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are, but people who have that sense, it's very unique and interesting. Because like I've been around people who are, and then like you sit around for long enough and you're like, I feel uncomfortable, but you can't explain it.
Yeah.
It's really strange. But I didn't.
Ours was pretty passive though. We called him Louie.
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 We named him Louie. We gave him a name because we were just kind of like, well, I mean, the thing is it's not harming anyone except for the shoes, which we ended up putting the shoe rack into the closet, so then that wouldn't happen anymore, which kind of saved it. And then just like weird things would happen, like a lot of noises, a lot of things would kind of like go missing and like appear in random places. At first, we were just thinking that it was our old roommate Joe doing that, because he had a tendency to like
just fuck with shit.
I don't understand why he did that, but like we were like, oh, maybe it was Joe, but then it kept happening after he left, and we were kind of like, oh, maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, so in my room I have a TV, and my TV remote was in there, and then all of a sudden it was just gone for like a week.
Yeah.
And then Cass was like, in her book bag, which during the day of it could have gone missing. Her book bag never goes into my room because why would it? Because
there's no point.
it's my
It
room.
was usually either in my car or like in my room.
Maybe in the living room. But the thing is, I was definitely like someone like, because like the guy I was seeing at the time would come over and we'd watch shows together. So I always put my remote in a certain place, or I would always just have my remote in my room because also it's my room and my TV in my room that's with my remote. Why would I take it outside of my room? Until Cass one day came up to me and she's like, "Is this your remote?" I was like, where the fuck was that? I've been looking for that for a week.
And it was in my book bag.
That's so
It was
strange.
in the back of my book bag, in like the pocket that I don't use really, except for like I have like some calculators in there and stuff like that. And I was looking for something, and so I was kind of like reaching around all the crevices, and I reach in there, and there's something that felt not quite like a calculator, and I was like, what the heck? And I pulled it out, and it was a remote, and I was like, where?
What the fuck?
At first I like panicked, and I was like, because then I started thinking that like maybe my grandma put it in there, and she was like, you know, like, I don't know, all of a sudden it was like signs of dementia, oh my god. And like I panicked, and I was like, oh no. And so then I realized though, I was like, no, these aren't one of their remotes. I don't recognize this remote. Because the thing is like I've never even held a remote.
No, because we never watched TV in my room, because why would we? My room's small.
No.
And so we'd always watch it out in the living room. And so that's when, like, I got home. I, like, told her, I was like, you'll never guess what I found in my bag. And, like, I'm talking to her and telling her the story of, like, reaching in. And she, like, looks at me and goes, is it a remote? And I was like, is this your remote? And she's like, that's my remote.
It's so strange.
Because the thing is, the way, because like because it was a Monday and I was looking for it Friday, and then she gave it to me like that following Monday or Wednesday.
Like, it was gone for like a week.
It was gone for a week. When I was watching TV that Monday, because I don't really watch TV on my TV anyways, I normally watch it on my iPad because it's just me and I like to lay down.
Yeah.
And I also don't like to wear my glasses a lot, so I like to watch it on my iPad so I can see the TV, see what I'm watching. But like, it was just really weird because like. Because we even asked Nate and Aiden, we were like, "Hey, would you like just be honest? Like, did you guys do it? Like,
was it a prank, a little
like
pranky
a pranky prank?" And they both were like, "Why would we go into your room?" And also like,
why would we
it's
put
a weird
it there?
prank.
Yeah, like it's just
I gotcha.
it just like, made no sense for anyone to do it because I literally was like, "You could tell me," and they were both like. Legitimately, one, I don't even know where your remote would have been because the thing is, I don't even know where I put it. That's why I was getting frustrated at myself because I was like, damn it, I put it somewhere where I can't find it again.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter because then Cass's
it was literally in my bag. But the thing is I swear that it, like, wasn't in that bag before. Because, I mean, I don't check that pocket a whole ton, but the thing is, like, my thought process is I would have checked it at some point during the week.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm putting away things.
Because it was definitely gone by Friday. Because I used it Monday, didn't use it again, or wasn't looking for it again until Friday because I was watching TV with the guy I was seeing. And so that's when I was like getting mad because he was like, "Where did you last see it?" And I was like, "It was last seen on
right here,
my computer or my desk chair. It was on the seat of it. I don't know where it went from there.
Yeah,
because I normally try to put it in my dresser drawer, like my nightstand, so that I know where it is. Couldn't find it."
And it was also during the time, like, afterwards, because we used to blame it on, like, things going missing and then appearing on our old roommate. But that was after the time that basically, like...
He wasn't asked to come into the house anymore.
I kind of had to be like, hey, he's not allowed back here at all.
Yeah.
And so he hadn't been in the house...
For a minute.
For a while. Like, the remote was still around.
Well, even if he was, like, that's such a weird, like...
Yeah, like, why that specifically?
Well, because also, too, that means he would have had to go on through my room, find the remote, and then go on to your room, and
find
then
my book bag.
Find your book bag and put it in there.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense, because one, he's not smart enough to think of a cool prank like that.
Well, I don't even think that's, like, a cool prank. That's just a weird, like...
Yeah.
Like, why?
Inconvenience, like...
Like, why would you do that? That's, like... Another thing that happened is, one time, Nate lost his phone, and we were trying to find it, and we were, like, looking everywhere for it, and we could not find it. And I was calling it and everything. We were calling it nothing. Like, we couldn't find it. We couldn't hear it. He went out to his car, couldn't find it in his car. We're like, where would it go? And he calls it again on my phone, and it answers. And it just starts, like, it keeps going, and he, like, holds the phone up, and he's like, hello? Hello? And then it's silent on the other end. And then it hangs up.
That's fucking weird.
And then you know where he found it? Under the couch downstairs, face down.
And the thing is, me and Joe, our old roommate, were in our bed already.
Yeah, they were, like, in there, and then I was like, he's like, will you watch me go downstairs and look in the basement one more time? And then, like, try and call it again. And then he found it, and he grabbed it, showed it to me. I'm at the top of the stairs. He showed it to me. And then he heard something, like, fall down or something in the same room, and he just books it up the stairs. He's
that's
like,
kind of fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, there's no explanation for that phone to pick up.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because the thing is, those couches were the old couches at my dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, because I know I've lost a lot of phones in those couches, so I know the way it probably fell underneath there.
Yeah.
There's nothing to grab it. There's nothing, like, sticky. There's nothing that could have potentially swiped it awake or, like, opened it. There's nothing on that couch that could have done it. Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, that's really weird, especially because it was face down.
It was face down, yeah. That, when I think about that, I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, one of those things that we were just kind of like, that's creepy.
Because, like, it could have fallen in the couch, right? Like, and fall, like, whatever, but, like, to be picked up.
Because the couches were also made of, like suede. So it wasn't even like something like leathery that could have grabbed it.
Yeah, like if it was a kind of like
or rubbery,
or
yeah.
It's weird.
Would have like tapped it. Yeah.
It's a creepy one.
It was really
that
weird.
That one was terrifying.
And then there was just like a lot of voices and stuff like one time I remember I was taking a shower and I could hear Nate calling me and going, "Hey Cass, Cass." And then I like turned off the shower eventually and I was like, "What?" And like yelled at, I was like, "What? What do you want? Like, you keep calling my name and you're not coming in here to just ask me, what do you want?" And he was just laying on the bed and he was like, "What? Like, what do you?" And I was like, "I thought you were calling my name." And he's like, "No,
I'm chilling.
Was not." And I was like, huh, interesting.
Now, what do you guys, if you were to give rhyme or reason to what potentially could be out there, do you guys have anything? Because this is what, in my head, this is my biggest, I don't know what you want to call it, paradox or confusion or, because like I don't believe, personally, I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong, I don't believe in afterlife as far as what we are told publicly. I don't think that it's what's written in books. I don't think it's religious. I don't think it's like heaven, hell, or we get transported somewhere.
Yeah.
And my closest thing to it is like, maybe if our energy, if we're made of energy and our consciousness is an energy, maybe in certain horrific incidents we can be imprinted in certain areas. That's the closest thing that I could come to potentially there being ghosts. And maybe it's not even necessarily a ghost that we know of it. I think there's something here, something there that we just don't have the technology or understanding to explain. But I definitely don't think it's like what we think right now.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like a ghost. I don't think it's like you die and then your spirit might be trapped here. I don't believe in that, but I do believe that. Well, I'm more towards the theory of like maybe if there's a prolific murder or like someone gets attacked or someone gets something worse and like there's so much energy expelled in that moment, like it can imprint in time. But I don't know. It's curious what your guys' brains are with.
I'm a big believer of like energy and stuff like that, and it makes a lot of sense where like especially if somebody has, I don't know, like bad intention as well in a situation, like if there's just like a lot of buildup of that then they can kind of just like, I feel like it can actually just become something that just kind of creates constant issues, if that makes sense. But
I don't know. I don't like to even think about it.
No?
I don't like to think about it.
No, I don't. I don't. Genuinely. And honestly, the only movies that really like genuinely scare me are paranormal ones. Only because it's like, I can't say it's false. I can't disprove it. I mean, like, I've never really had like, besides that house we lived in, I've never had like bad experiences. And even then, like my experiences at that house were very minimal in the sense of like, I feel like they could all be debunked. Like Ghost Adventures wise, debunked pretty easily. But I don't like to think about it.
It's 100% proven that if you wear a small, extra small T-shirt, that you can debunk ghost things.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean,
that's proven fact.
I can fit in one, so
sometimes you just kind of gotta tell the cameraman to get.
I agree with Atticus too. Is like there is definitely this weird idea that everything has to be an old ghost. Like, back in the 1800s, Jerry died. Like, where's the fucking, where's the guy who gets murdered in 2004?
Yeah, like a frat bro or something.
Yeah,
where's his ghost?
I definitely want to live in like not a frat house. Obviously, I don't want to ever live in a frat house. But like, could live in a sorority house where my jewel gets stolen all the time because some frat boy died there because he got too drunk and nobody cared or something.
Yeah, nobody cared.
And no one cared, and he just steals everyone's jewel. That would be so.
That'd be a good.
See, that's the thing is, it's like I don't know. I don't like to think about it more in the sense of like mean or malicious ghosts scare me, but like I don't know. Because the thing is, I can't disprove it, but I also don't want to prove it.
How funny would that be? You're just sitting there, like you're at this like frat house, and you just hear like a whisper, "Where's the White Claw?
Where's the White?
Where's the White Claws when you're drinking claws? Drink more pussy.
Yeah.
Are you a pledge or are you a mouse?"
I was like recently thinking about because I forgot that the University of Utah is a dry campus now.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
Whack.
yeah, wild. And
Could I get a refill?
speaking of drinks, I don't know. I keep thinking about that, and just like, were there recent incidences or something? What if I just?
You won't.
I think there might be a ghost. It's a little bad energy around that wine.
So our friend Romina, who
Oh.
was dating Kai,
Yeah.
me and her had a friend from middle school, who went to the U
Mhm.
and was part. She wasn't part of a sorority or sorority, but she hung out with sorority girls and frat boys. But like apparently they still do like fuck shit, like hazing shit. Like I don't know if any of it's true, but there was a rumor where there's a rumor where they made a pledge fuck a goat.
What?
I mean, you hear a lot about
Yeah.
that stuff, though.
The thing about hazing to me is like,
Do you need help?
no, I'm good. I'm just thinking of like just how fuck shit some of it is.
Oh yeah, no, some of it is so. And then they try to like make laws like against hazing and whatnot, and then they do stuff like kind of like, well, now we're a dry campus, and it's like, okay, well, that doesn't really change anything. They're still
Well,
gonna
that
do
goat
it.
did not get
Yeah.
unfucked.
Yeah,
like
that,
that.
that goat is not gonna be unfucked.
No,
Like,
that's the thing is there is a lot of I've heard personal stories from people who don't want shit repeated, and like
yeah.
I was listening to one on TikTok the other day about this guy who was a pledge, and they made him eat, God, what was it? Some sort of testicle or
What?
some sort of food drenched in everyone's urine,
Oh.
like all the like
Oh, kind of like a
Pledge
soggy
members.
toast, but like
yeah,
with
but
pee.
they pissed on it and you had to eat it, like, and I just
Pumpkin.
shit like that to me is just the most strange, like.
It's like, why?
It's
What is
so-
the purpose?
Yeah, it's like if you want to join the Brotherhood, you gotta suck all our
The
dicks.
thing is it's
Like-
kind of like it's all very like homoerotic undertones,
Yeah.
no matter what, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like, guys, come on, just kiss each other, get it over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
that shit, like, yeah, I've heard of that happening
yeah.
a lot, and expect like in what's the girls called?
sororities. That would happen in sororities as well.
Yeah, like
Yeah. The thing is, it's like also too, why do people do it?
Like,
That's
yeah.
the thing. It's like I understand wanting to be a part of sororities and stuff like that. Just have sorority friends. That's what our
Yeah.
old friend did. Is she literally just
Just
like
have buddies.
yeah.
I think depending on like the level of the sorority, it's almost like because like sorority and fraternities go deeper than just this, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
if you're a member of a fraternity from an elite school, that doesn't just stop when you're out of college. That
Oh,
goes
no.
like if you stay there, you graduate, you got direct into millions of like high level people who are in that fraternity.
Yeah, well, and then also too, then that's why a lot
Yeah.
of people's kids join it because also you get instant membership because your parents were
The skulls, yeah,
Skulls.
the
The
skulls,
skulls.
yeah. That's a whole thing to debunk. That's a fraternity that like you pretty much get in and then
You're in it for life.
well, I don't know. It's a lot to talk about, but it goes deeper than just that like initial like fraternity. That's all. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a.
that'd be a fun episode. Maybe you can come and do that one with me if you want. It's
because I want to hear about the skulls. I don't really know much.
is it Skull and Bones?
Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
You know what? Back to horror movies. You want to know? Actually, is one of like my new favorite sorority horror movie. Black Christmas, the remake, the newest one.
I haven't seen it.
I actually really liked it. Black Christmas,
Black Christmas.
the newest one.
Yeah,
I
that was
really
really
liked
good.
it. It was very campy and a little bit cheesy, but I really liked it. I don't know. I'm a slut for movies. I just love all movies. I'm not a harsh critic.
Yeah.
Except on some movies, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck that movie. But there's like, I loved that movie. Especially they made a song, and it was like during Christmas time, so they made it's like up in the frat house, and it's basically.
Oh, you
from-
show me
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that song is so fucking good. I don't know why it's so
You're like,
goddamn
yeah.
catchy. It's my favorite song.
So what is it that you think that? Because like we have to remember that like most people aren't horror fans,
Yeah.
but we're our circle, and then like more people I know, like everyone is.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people really dislike horror, either
Oh,
because
yeah.
they just can't watch it because they get scared, or they just think it's dumb, or it's like not realistic, or whatever it is. Like horror is not a popular genre. That's why you don't see horror movies getting winning awards or getting high ratings unless it's like
Yeah.
The Babadook, which we'll talk about because I have.
Oh,
That's going on my list of hot takes. That movie's
Ooh.
trash in my head, but we'll talk about
I
it.
hate the kid.
We'll talk about it. So, what do you think it is for you guys that like made horror stick and still be prevalent in your guys' life? Because for me, I still just like it's almost nostalgic for me. Like, because I used to get scared as a kid, and now when I watch horror movies, I'm kind of like, it's almost like gets me giddy because I'm like, oh, is this gonna be good? Like, is this gonna like scare me, or is this gonna like give me a weird feeling? But a lot of the times, like the movies themselves aren't super great movies.
Yeah.
They're just fun.
I like I'm a big aesthetic person, and so I like the aesthetic of horror movies a lot, especially like, you know, like really like campy sort of horror movies, and even like just like older ones, or either like spoofs of horror movies. Then too, I really like just the feel of it. It's somewhat nostalgic, but it's also just, I don't know. I've always kind of been into it, and it's gotten less of it scaring me and more of just kind of enjoying the genre.
I don't know what it is about it. I think, like, I don't know. I just, like, I think it's because I didn't watch it for a while, and then it was something new, so it was, like, exciting to see all the, like, new plots and twists.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's, like, the same as, like, comedies. Like, some people don't like watching comedies because they're silly and goofy or dumb. But, like, I love comedies. And I think it's the same with, like, dramas or, like, romance. A lot of people don't like romance, but I like them just because I like the story. I'm just a big storyteller person.
Yeah.
And I just love a good story. And I feel like with horror, it's just kind of, like, sometimes outlandish and, like, ridiculous. Or sometimes it's like, oh, that's spooky. Or it's just, like, true crime. So, like, it could potentially happen. And sometimes the characters...
Are you good?
Did your chair just break?
Yeah, is this the...
No. That's a newer one.
We're gonna take a pause 1 second.
That spooked me.
You got wine on your...
I know I spilled some wine.
Cross that control there. Where, you got any napkins?
Oh, it's just gonna dry. I mean, like, it was
Really?
just like
Okay.
a little spot. Yeah, it was just a little spill.
Oh no, it's just...
Yeah, it was like, this is what I get for leaning back. Wait.
Just get...
It's like, I'm scared to, like, lean back and have it fall.
Well, stand up real quick. It made a popping noise.
Yeah,
Try
it made
to
a
lift-
popping noise, but...
Try to lift up the chair. The thingy.
This thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
you
it's
think
the
it was-
compression. Oh.
Wait,
Oh,
where
I'm
is it?
wondering...
What is it? Oh, is it that thing?
I don't know. It might have... Sit in it again?
I'm
Don't make
scared.
sense.
I can...
Yeah, now I'm nervous.
I'm not gonna bra. No jiggles for free. That's not
No free jiggles.
I mean, it seems fine. Maybe it just had a...
Sus.
it
Had a
maybe-
moment.
Do you want... This one's not... I can...
Wait, let's see if I can... Oh, I think it was just this thing.
I think that thing...
Okay.
I think it just, like, wasn't tight enough.
Yeah.
You would think if I work in an office supply place, I know how chairs work. I don't.
I was like,
Please don't die on the chair. That would...
no promises. This
Then-
is a
then-
Wild West.
I don't need you to haunt this, and then when I'm streaming, you come and you're like, "Want some wine?"
You guys want some boxed wine?
Got
Which
the
is-
keynote flavors of plastic.
Oh,
That'd be-
yeah.
That'd be hilarious if I like you're just like the haunting of this podcast. Want to sleep box wine every once in a while? You just squirt a little bit out on the floor.
Pour
Oh,
it out for the
that's-
homies.
That's the Casco. She's fine. She's
fine.
She's just chilling.
She's just hanging out. She's just vibing.
Aesthetics are huge for me. I love super vibey, moody horror films. The other genre that I love is Class B horror film. Yeah.
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 I think that what's weird for me is like I took a break from horror from like I feel like the late 2000s into the early like 2010s. There wasn't a lot of shit coming out that I was like, because like they were all following the same format. It's like either they were copying Paranormal Activity, or it was like creepy clown, creepy nun, creepy priest, creepy like I don't know, or let's remake Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th for the 15th time. Like there's a lot of rehashes, and I think finally we're getting people like Jordan Peele and Midsommar guy and
Ari Aster.
yeah, like
I was gonna say Edgar Allan Poe, but I know that's it.
Edgar Allan
What's the guy
Poe.
who did the Vitch Edgar?
Oh, Edgar, like it's like something Eggers. Wait.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
he's one of the new
Roger
ones that's really
Eggers.
good.
Roger Eggers. Yeah.
Did he?
So,
Which one did
he did.
Lighthouse?
He did.
Yeah,
Roger Eggers.
fantastic.
Yeah, because the one thing I will say though about being a female who likes horror, it's hard to be taken seriously.
What do you mean?
To be honest, it's almost like I feel like a lot of like horror movie lovers or just film bros gatekeep horror from females. To be honest, because there's the thing, I remember distinctly hanging out with an ex of mine and his friends, and they were talking about horror, and my ex was like, the one thing that I'll give him props on, he was like, I don't know anything about horror. You should talk to Holly. And I remember they didn't talk to me about it. They then brought up things, and they were like, oh yeah, the guy that did The Lighthouse did Midsummer. And I was like, no, those are two different people. It's by the same producers, A24. And I literally had to go on, and I was like, is it Roger Eggers?
Wait, let me see.
I think it's Roger Eggers.
Let me check on it.
He did Lighthouse and The Vitch. Midsummer guy, Ari Aster, did Midsummer Hereditary. So it's like, I was like trying to describe it, and then I was like, oh, this is like the kind of new horror. And then
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers. And so I was like, went on about it. And then they just continued on talking about horror, and I was like, and then they got into video game horror, and I was like, it's not horror movies, but like, I know some horror video games.
I do want to talk horror video games in a bit, because that's, I am in love with them. Again, they're great. But I don't know, I think right now I think going into this year, we're getting a lot of horror movies that are coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we're going to get some really, really good ones. I mean, the new one that Ari Aster, is that? Ari Aster is doing. It's supposed to be like 3 hours long.
Sheesh. Have you guys seen Ari Aster's, his student thesis video?
No.
That he came out with before. I was telling you
about
it. It's called Something About the Johnsons. And it's like a 20-minute clip that he made when he was still in film school as like his whole like final project.
Yeah.
And honestly, it just shows how fucked up his mind is.
Yeah, he's got...
It's, like, the thing is it's not necessarily, like, horror, in a sense. It's just messed up.
Twisted.
Just what, like, I definitely suggest it. I don't want to, like, say anything more about it, because it's kind of like a...
You kind of have to watch it.
You kind of have to watch it, but also kind of, like, you know, trigger warning. It has a lot to do with, like, sex abuse and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's insane. I remember watching it and being like, he did this in college? Just vibing?
Yeah. But like, I don't know if you've noticed, because like when I was on Tinder and stuff, I've had multiple guys be like, oh wow, you actually like horror? And it's like, yes, that's why my top 5 favorite movies, 4 out of the 5 is horror movies.
I just don't fuck with anyone who's a gatekeeper of anything. I think it's such a weird, like, don't fucking...
Like, let people enjoy things.
And don't, like, all you're doing is ruining your community by trying to be like, oh, well, like, have you fucking seen this, this, and this? And it's like, no, bro, like, I don't give a shit about these, like, obscure movies that you think are important. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, the only people who do are going to be your other film bros. Like, if I get told I have to watch another Wes Anderson movie to really enjoy films, I'm going to start beating people up.
You're
Like,
going to be like, all right, meet me out
I don't
front.
fucking care. Like, I know he makes good movies. I don't need to see Knives Out either. Calm the fuck down. I know it's a good movie, but I don't need to be told that I don't know anything about films because I haven't seen it.
And also,
that's
the thing
not
is
even fair.
The thing is people overhype Knives Out, I say, a lot.
So,
I've seen it on multiple occasions, and the thing is like, it's overhyped, for sure.
It definitely is overhyped. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
it's
like,
just definitely
good.
overhyped.
Yeah.
The thing is that I like it a lot is because it's by Ryan Johnson, who also did,
what's it called?
No, I know it.
you mean the same Ryan Johnson?
The last
ruined-
Skywalker. No, not the last guy.
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. I was gonna say Return. I keep getting Return of the Jedi with The Last Jedi wrong. The thing is, The Last Jedi was so aesthetically pleasing, and that's why I like Knives Out, because it's aesthetically pleasing. I don't even think it's like, the thing is, it's a good story. It's not even that great of a film, to be honest. Yeah. I just like the aesthetically pleasing part, and I like how it's kind of filmed like a Clue, like a mystery. Yeah. I like the aesthetic.
Very Clue-like.
But it's even then, not even that great of a movie. I just love the aesthetic of it, and I liked the Clue aspect.
It's weird. He does that really well. Like, he made that Last Jedi movie really aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Dog shit Star Wars movie.
But see, that's the thing.
You see how I go?
We've had this conversation already.
I was like, anyways. It's okay. If it makes you feel better, I was hooking up with this guy who came to my house, and he was like looking at my room, didn't look at what was above my bed yet, and he was like talking about it. He's like, oh, I see you love Star Wars. That Last Jedi one fucking sucks dick. It's the worst one out there. Turns and sees that I have like 4 different Last Jedi posters by this artist that I love, and he's like, I see you like the movie a lot. And I was like, it's chill. I know what people's opinions are.
I'm going to teach you guys a lesson. Even though Holly and I have a difference of opinion, we can still talk about it and have fun.
Yeah.
You guys should all learn that, because it's an important thing.
Because that's the thing, is because he felt so bad, and I was like, dude, don't worry about it. I know that people hate that movie. Just because I like it doesn't mean I think people should like it.
Was this the gum guy, or was it someone else?
This was, comedian guy's brother.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I still fuck with, like, Adam Sandler movies, and people are like, like, I love Don't Mess with the Zohan. You watch that movie the first time, this is the most dog shit movie I've ever seen. You watch it like 3 or 4 times, and you get high once and watch, and you're like, this movie is fucking hilarious.
This is so funny. Yeah. That's like one of my #1 Christmas movies to watch is Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Yeah, great one. Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Fantastic. I love it. Yeah. Everybody deserves a card on their birthday. I can pull out quotes out of my ass from that.
Paul Blart.
It's a great one. It's great.
So let's talk some of our favorites of all time. Because I know it's tough. I know that it's tough. And I do want to say, like, with today's horror movies going in different directions, like, you know, we're getting more artistic horror movies. You know, like The Vitch, where you watch it and, like, it's slow, but then you get, like, this burn. You're like, oh, fuck. And then you watch it again, or Hereditary, where you're like, I don't quite understand what's going on. And then, like, for me, when I watched that movie the first time, it really started hitting when the son loses his mind in the classroom. You're like, ooh, fuck. Something's going on.
Honestly, the first time I watched it, I didn't understand until the end, and I was like, oh shit, and I was just like, oh, and I got really excited because I was like, I get it now. And then I watched it for like the 3rd, 4th time, and then I just understood the story more and more and more. That's what I really liked about it.
I think it's impressive that there's horror movies where, because like horror movies used to be like, you don't really watch them unless you're like rewatch them for fun.
Yeah.
They don't really have like rewatchability to gain shit. Except for those movies. You watch them like... Because I remember talking to you. I didn't like The Vitch the first time I watched it. I didn't, like... Aside from Baby Jam, I was like... I was like, this movie's not that great. And now I've watched it, I think, 3 or 4 times now. And I'm like, this movie's fucking amazing.
It's one of my favorite... I would say that's all my favorite ones. I have a tattoo of The Witch, so it better be.
I really like... Because, like, also, too, like, with those slow burn ones, the newest, like, I call them, like, the A24 horror movies.
Yeah.
Because that's what all produced by. Because I went on a date with a guy who absolutely loved Hereditary. But he literally, because I told him, I was like, oh, Midsummer's my favorite. And he was like, I hate to be this person, but can you explain Midsummer to me? I don't fully understand why it's good. Like, I just didn't understand it. And I was like, well, first of all, you probably should watch it 2 or 3 more times so you can actually understand it. And then I just explained to him, like, I was like, I like the storyline. I love Danny. Yeah. I loved her coming into herself and, like, just releasing everything.
All that.
And, like, just, like, explaining it to him. And he was like, oh, no, when you put in those perspectives, it makes a lot more sense.
Thanks for the subs, Still City.
Thanks for the
subs, Still.
Hey. I would say Midsummer's one of my top favorites. I've seen that one the most out of all the A24 ones. I really I really want to rewatch because we've only seen it once. I don't know if you've seen it again. The Lighthouse.
I
want to watch it again.
Yeah.
I couldn't get over the fact of William Dafoe just farting the fuck out of just farting the whole movie. It was so funny though, but like it's so spooky. And then
what an emo. What you doing, step bro?
What are you doing, step bro?
Oh, step bro, I'm stuck in the washer.
Oh my gosh! All of a sudden, I'm stuck under this table.
I'd say one of my favorite horror movies in general is the Evil Dead remake.
Yeah, that one's great.
That one's really good. Can I tell you my favorite horror movie kill?
Yeah.
It was in, I don't know why, but it's just stayed in my head where I'm just like, because like, you've seen so many kills, and there's just so many kills, but there's always those kills that like kind of stick with you. This one sticks with me. It's the Sleepaway Camp. The original Sleepaway Camp. Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah, great one.
Have you seen that one? My favorite kill in it is this girl that was like doing her hair and like about to meet with a boy, you know, have premarital sex.
Sinners!
Oh my
god.
Jesus is always watching, especially at camp.
Especially at sleepaway camp.
But one of my favorite kills in it is someone grabs a curling iron and shoves it up her vagina, and that's how she dies.
Yeah.
For some reason, that stuck with me this entire. I saw that movie 2 years ago for the first time, and I still distinctly remember that kill out of all the kills. I think Sleepaway Camp had the most intricate kills because the thing is, you don't see the killer. You're seeing it from like the first POV of the killer, and that's what I really like about Sleepaway Camp. And also the ending, I was just like, whoa.
Sheesh.
The second one, but I think my all-time favorite one, and also because I have a tattoo of it myself, my number one is always going to be Scream. Yeah. That's going to be one I can watch.
The first Scream is a fucking...
Scream.
And they're making a fifth one.
Yeah, except without R.I.P.
Wes Craven. Shouts out to a real one.
Pour one out. Pour one out.
Pour one out.
See, speaking of kills, I wake up in a cold sweat multiple times a week from teeth.
Yeah.
That movie fucked me up. I didn't know what that was about until I was like, oh, she has teeth down. Oh, okay. And then she was doing the with some guy and just fucking, there goes his wiener, and you just see it just fucking chilling.
It's just vibing over there. Because that's the very first part, right?
Yeah, I never got past that. I have not watched that movie.
Can I tell you, spoiler alert,
sure.
Can I tell you what, the last thing is that happens in it? Which is, the thing, because a lot of it is about, women gaining their power back, and that's kind of, her whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Is that, because it was, I can't remember, was the first time a little rapey? I think so. I think so. And that's basically what made the teeth happen.
Oh, no.
So if it's unwanted.
Maybe not, because I remember the first time that the teeth happened was she was in a pool with, her little brother. And, her little brother was, trying to do some weird shit.
Oh.
And, it bit his, where his finger got bit.
And he was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So it's still kind of, a little...
Yeah, it was
so
definitely
it's,
weird.
Unwanted contact and stuff like that. And, that's, kind of what happens. I don't think you never figure out, why she ends up growing teeth down there. But you learn that kind of, her brother was, assaulting her and all that stuff. Or, trying to, at least. And, her older brother or something. And, it's, disgusting. And, I'm sad that, I still can, see it in my mind. But basically, she, goes... And I think he, assaulted then also one of her friends or something. And so then she goes and seduces him. And chomps off, his pain. And takes it and then throws it to the dog. And the dog eats it. Right in front of him. That happened in
Hostel, too.
Yeah. Hostel's good.
Yeah, so I'm going to rail off some ones in my head that I think are bangers. And I'm going to go from, newish to oldish. I think Get Out.
Get Out
was great.
Fantastic.
Midsummer, Vitch, all those movies, top quality. Terrorizer.
Oh, the Terrifier?
The Terrifier. I think
love that one.
I think that is the best new age, I don't know what you call those horror movies where it's a specific bad guy.
Yeah.
Like a Michael Myers, a Chainsaw, a tech, he's the best new age version of that type of horror movie.
Have you seen All Hallows Eve, which is the prequel to that?
Yes, I finally watched it. fucking great.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's interesting how they went off of that,
Yes,
right?
and I'm excited for the second one.
No, same.
It's going to be so good.
I thought
think
they had to push it back, but...
I think that was one of the best new ones.
Yeah.
I have to give a shout out to Creep 1 and 2.
I love
Listen,
Creep.
you watch Creep and it's funny, but then you watch Creep and think about it, that movie is fucking creepy.
It's so terrifying. And, like, the thing, like...
You think it's jokey, because he's doing, like, joking shit. And then you're just like, oh, he's a weird guy.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's harmless.
Yeah.
Like, he's just trying to, like, he's just a little weird, trying to make some friends.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Creep 1 and 2, though, shout out to that.
Shouts out.
Those are some good ones.
Yeah.
Especially because the second was just as good as the first.
Yes. Going into, like, older ones, I love The Conjuring.
Oh.
And that whole series, I think it's gotten a little stretched, but
Yeah.
get them dollars.
Yeah.
Loved the Saw franchise up until a certain point. The new one was decent, and this new film that's coming out that's like in the same world looks good.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember, Time something. I don't know.
Because it was Jigsaw and then it's this new one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Jigsaw. Because I kind of like everyone. I kind of got bored of like the Saw franchise. I'm like, okay, cool. Like blood, guts, gore. All right, we get it, guys.
Yeah.
Hostel is on my list of just like those first two movies made me not ever want to go to Europe.
Oh yeah, no.
I will, but
I won't be going to a hostel.
Because the first one is the exact opposite of what typically happens. Where like, you know, I mean it's the male fantasy, right? You go over to Europe, you're hanging out at these hostels, these hot European chicks come and hang out. And then they drug you and sell you into the fucking, you know, dark web society.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is Jesus.
I thought you were going over to the window to fart. That's literally what I thought
you did too.
doing.
I was like, man, that's a fucking power move.
She's like, 1 second, I'll be back.
Homie move.
Yeah.
I would have been like, respect.
Respect. Sheesh. She fought away from the camera.
Yeah. That would have been funny if you'd like pointed it at the mic.
Yeah.
Like you just got up to do it and be like, oh.
New version queef. New version queef.
Working on cancel.
Oh, no.
To do like a speed run of old classic, like 80s horror I really like. I like Slumber Party. Massacre 2.
Yeah.
Fucking great one. Night of the Demons.
I keep thinking about, I was actually going to say when you were like, oh, favorite kill. I was like, one thing that like makes me like, you know, sticks with me. It's not a kill, but it's specifically in a moment where I think is it lipstick?
It's lipstick,
She's like putting on lipstick and then she closes the lipstick and then she like literally inserts it into her nipple.
Hell yeah.
And like puts it through her body. And it's like,
as you do.
It goes back to like, you know, with her day.
Yeah.
Hellraiser's on my top list.
Oh, Hellraiser's
that
really
first
good.
Hellraiser is a movie that I watched way too young, and that fucked me up too.
That was a really good one. Hellraiser.
I didn't play the puzzles.
Candyman's
great. I hope the remake is good.
I'm so excited for the remake.
I forget that like it was supposed to come out, but it has yet to come out, and it makes me so fucking mad because I'm so fucking excited for it.
Yeah.
Literally before they announced like that Jordan Peele was going to be doing that as a remake, that was like my dream remake.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, if I could choose like a modern director to remake any like one of my favorite old movies, it would be Candyman, and Jordan Peele would direct that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I really liked what was the second Jordan Peele movie he did?
Us.
Yeah.
Us is a really good one.
I liked Us's twist a lot.
That one was really good. I didn't see it coming, and that's what I really like about it.
Honestly, that one spooked me more than Get Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get Out, well, mostly because I feel like Get Out doesn't really affect us as much just because we're white people. Yeah. And so
I personally thought Get Out was a better movie.
Yeah.
But I think Us was more I think Us was like thrilling.
Yeah.
It was more of a thriller horror. It had like more gore in it for sure.
Yeah.
Get Out was more of like, I felt like a psychological thriller almost. Because the thing is, it's like, is he going crazy or is they crazy? Like, what's actually happening? And like, you kind of knew something was not right.
Yeah.
But like, you didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of like, whenever I think of that, I also think of like the movie that I was telling you about how it's like this lady who's married to a man who's like 30 years older than her.
Yeah.
So he's like 80 and she's 50, and she
Hell
moves
yeah.
in with him to like a nursing
yeah.
home, like community
Yeah.
and stuff. And like there's all these old people like super healthy and like playing tennis, and she's like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then like she's wondering why they're all so healthy, and it's because they hire people as staff, but they actually hire them and then they pay them off, so when they get like people who match them, that they swap their organs. And then they like set them up for life, and then they like send them on their way, because it's just a bunch of rich people like paying for these young people's organs.
I mean, that's probably what goes on.
I would be surprised.
But what was that
Yeah.
fucker who just barely died, who was way older than the
Prince
Rothschild?
Philip?
No,
Oh.
I know him in that
I
list.
know.
No, the one of the Rothschilds guy who was like way old, and they were like theories where he was fucking having, because I mean they're worth more money than America.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
They were theories of him getting like weird transplants to try and stay alive, and 'cause he was like 100 plus, and
That's so
he was like apparently died like 5 times or something. I don't know. Conspiracy rabbit hole, guys.
I fully support Midsummer's. Once you're 70,
yeah.
just
We out of here.
we out of here.
No more.
We out.
Now, I've always this. I think I know why I like horror movies so much.
Mhm.
Is the same reason why I just like why my movie taste is the way it is. If I can predict a movie, I'm immediately out.
That's
And
fair.
this is why I don't necessarily get hyped for like superhero movies or
Mhm.
action movies or anything like that, because 9 times out of 10 you can kind of see what's going to happen.
The good guy's always gonna win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say like the Avengers last movie, I was like, wow, they did that. This was probably one of the best movies ever made.
But when Avengers 2 came out, there was a point where the superhero movies sucked because they were all basically the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ant-Man and then Thor Ragnarok 3 really changed
Yeah.
Change the game.
the game, and also like Deadpool. Like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that started the change in superhero movies, because I
Kind of
remember
like they don't have to win.
Yeah, because I remember when the first Iron Man came out, I saw that one in theaters. I'm an OG superhero fan from the beginning,
Yeah.
but But I do remember a point of time where I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see the new whatever was coming out, and everyone's like, why? And I was like, shut up, I still like them, even though they're shit. I
Yes.
like them.
Don't like them. That's like I'm a big Marvel fan still.
They're so
like
fucking fun.
yeah, they're awesome, and like I really liked, even though like it breaks my heart to think about it. Which Spider-Man, one where
Andrew Garfield?
where
Oh, the second one where it was the Gwen Stacy death.
when Gwen dies. That literally, because it like that kind of has like the whole like he doesn't get everything,
Right.
and also that actually happens in the comics.
Yeah.
So
I geeked out so hard when I saw that happen. I was just like, I remember that episode.
Yeah,
I remember that
yeah,
issue.
yeah.
I bought that issue just so I could read that that part, because I love.
Ugh.
Because I agree. I love when,
Mhm.
like, superheroes have to go through something fucking shitty. Like, Iron Man dying. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like, they needed to kill off some people. But, like,
Too many of y'all are alive.
and then they gonna start the new Avengers. That's why
Yeah.
that's what the buildup is now. It's for the new Avengers.
Right.
But I like that. I liked when Gwen Stacy
Mhm.
died, because it brought in, like, a serial, like, because there was, like, a Superman comic where Superman kills Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Because he caught her too fast, and she just fucking just cut herself in 3 places,
Yeah.
basically.
I think the reason why I'm not super hyped on movies like that is I feel like for a while, and I don't know a better way to put it, is like they weren't doing anything ballsy.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like having deaths like that, having
Sorry.
these big impacts. Like it was always the same shit, and then finally the latest Avengers movie, like there's a lot of death,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, this is
Okay,
good. And
getting
that's
there.
why I typically when I like sit down for movies, either I'm watching something that is like super pivotal movie, like No Country for Old Men,
Yeah.
one of my favorites, where you can't predict anything in that movie.
You're just kind of like, what
Wow.
You're just
God.
here for the road. Like you're gonna watch and see what happens.
Like his other book of the movie, The Road.
Yeah,
The
road is wild. But that's why I like horror, is because you can't really predict a lot of it unless it's like your basic horror movie where it's like we're at A, we're gonna get to D, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be by us running around a camp and hopefully, but they're fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like you don't know whether or not they are going to live, but
Who's
they
gonna
could,
live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you don't know who's going to live. or they could all live.
Yeah.
But you just don't know. And that's what I like about it, too, is that, like, let's see if they're actually going to keep the main character, if they're going to keep the final girl.
Yeah, my favorite camp movie, which is not necessarily a camp movie in the long run, is the one where they realize that they're in a fucking... They're being watched.
Oh.
I just watched it like a month ago.
Cabin in the Woods?
Cabin in the Woods.
Oh,
I thought that was one of the best horror movies ever made because it makes every other camp movie make perfect sense. That they had to do it to sacrifice to the gods. Otherwise, the gods will come and destroy the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I love the idea of a final girl.
Yeah, like Ready or Not.
Ready or Not.
Yeah.
Love that one.
Oh, I forgot about that movie. That movie's
so good. So
you know what
good.
was another really good movie that was like kind of... Because the person that did Ready or Not is doing the 5th Scream. That's why I'm okay with them doing the 5th Scream, is because it's by the person who did Ready or Not. I really liked... do you remember The Hunt?
Yes.
The Hunt is a really good one. I think it's on Hulu. I'd recommend it. It's more of like... It's not quite horror per se. It's more of like action thriller.
Yeah, it's like one of those survival sort of things.
But that one's a really good one.
I can't read that. Who is that?
Firefox Blue.
Oh, what's up?
What's up, Blue Firefox?
It's hard to read the blue, but yeah, what's up?
But The Hunt was really good because it gave me the same aesthetic of Ready or Not. I don't know if it's by the same person. I didn't really do enough research on that part.
But it's very similar, kind of like underestimate the girl, and then all of a sudden they're secretly badass.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow.
The Hunt was 10 out of 10, one of the best, I think, best movies. Because the thing is like, I don't mind a little bit of politicalness in movies. I know that's why a lot of horror recently has been getting slack. Like, the new Black Christmas is getting a lot of slack because it brings up the fact of, like, frat boys assaulting girls most of the time. That's not always the case. I'm not saying frat boys leads to assault, but I'm just saying there's a lot of statistics that says it does. So I'm just saying they made a movie to kind of highlight that. And Hunt, I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but it does bring up like a little bit of a political aspect that I thought was pretty genius. Yeah. But I've also noticed that in a lot of like TV shows, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Falcon, that new Disney Plus stuff. I haven't watched that yet. I won't tell you what happens in it, but there is a scene where the Winter Soldier and the Falcon, who's obviously like a black man, they're like arguing.
They kiss? Oh.
I wish.
No. I was really excited.
No, but they're but I've noticed that a lot in TV shows is they're bringing up like issues with like things because like I was surprised like Marvel did it. I was like, that's pretty ballsy. Like, good for them because that's a good audience to target it. Is because the Falcon and the Winter Soldier were arguing in the street, and these cops come, and they're, like, literally pulling, like, the Falcon and being like, you need to calm down, you need to calm down, you need to calm down. And the Winter Soldier's like, what are you talking about? And then they're like, oh, we didn't realize you were the Falcon. And he's like, it shouldn't have mattered that I'm the Falcon. Why are you treating me like this? I'm having an argument with my friend. Mind your business. Why are you getting mad at me? Get mad at him. He has a metal arm.
He's got a metal arm!
I think it is strange that people, you know, because there was a point in time where I was like, man, I want my sports and I want my movies to be not have like statements, but then I realized like the only way that we're going to change like society in a positive manner is put it in places where people watch entertainment.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, if your athletes are talking about things or your movies are talking about things and you can connect to the athlete or the movie or the artist or whatever it is, like that's the only way that like real change is going to happen. And I think it is important. That's
why I really like I was really proud of Marvel for doing it because the thing is, he's the Falcon, he's an Avenger, and yet he's still getting the same shit that any other African American in the United States gets. And that's the thing is, then as soon as they found out who he was, they backed off.
They're kind of like, oh, sorry, man.
I think the one thing that bothers me is when companies or brands do it to be trendy.
Agreed.
I was just talking about this with a friend of mine where we were talking about how they weren't a fan of kind of like Wonder Woman or like, you know, Captain Marvel sort of things. And I was kind of like, they're like, oh, is that like sexist of me? And then I was like, well, first of all, it depends on like why you didn't like it. But also like it kind of got into the whole aspect of them using it as like, oh crap, what's the word? Performative activism in a sense, rather than, and like kind of like promoting it just as like a social cause rather than just making it the movie. and just kind of promoting it as that movie. Where, like, of course, that's the thing that's brought up. But if they keep promoting it specifically as that sort of issue, it kind of loses its luster.
Yeah. Like, it always brings me back to that Vine that's like, oh, all female ghost adventurers, the feminists are taking over.
I'm an adult virgin.
That's what I think of it as. Because the thing is with Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman, they're just superheroes. Why does it have to be like a feminist thing?
Yeah.
Like, I get why maybe maybe that one scene in like the latest Avengers Endgame,
where they all show up at this.
where it's all the women kind of get together. Like, I think that was a really powerful statement and a move.
Yeah.
And I know why people probably didn't like it, but also at the same time, I'm like, but they're also low-key kind of like the strongest people there. Like, Captain Marvel is
literally the strongest one.
I had that conversation with someone who was, like, really bent out, like, bent, whatever the analogy is. They were really bothered by that scene.
Oh, it's so cute.
Thank you, Mr. Bassman.
Interesting. Oh, we just drank our cool and interesting juice.
Makes me sociable.
Eat our veggies.
Because, like, I look at it this way, right? We don't live in a time now where, like, superheroes movies or comics are primarily a man thing. It used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's so mainstream and it's so popular, there's a huge audience of women who watch the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best things in movies in general, especially, like, fantasy, superhero, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, anything like that, is when you see all the characters that you like in the same scene, you just, like, I'm getting the chills thinking about it because you're just like, man, it's the fucking time to see it. Like, I thought that scene was fucking rad because it's like, it is showing, like, all the badass characters that everyone likes in one setting. Why be bothered by it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fucking movie. Sit back and watch. Like,
enjoy it.
The whole argument was like, well, what's the reality of them all, like, being in the same spot? And I'm like, what's the reality of Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and all them being in the same spot in a battle?
Yeah.
Very unlikely, but we had 100 scenes of that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, technically the new Thor is the leader of the woman.
Oh, the Valkyries.
The Valkyries. Yeah. Like, she's technically going to be the new Thor because Thor's stepping down just to join Guardians of the Galaxy. He's still Thor. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited. But he's not, like, he's Thor, but she's the leader of their people now.
Yeah.
He's like,
take it on over.
Did you see the little, I haven't watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I saw a clip, and I think it's from that, or it's from the WandaVision, I'm not sure, where someone's talking to a guy at, like, a game store, and he says his name's Noob Slayer 69 or something like that. And then it pans back, like, I saw it on TikTok, and someone pans back to Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And, like, where he's fat and he's playing the video games, and they're talking about some guy talking shit who's Noob Slayer 69. So they gave a face to that guy. I'm like, small little details.
Chef kiss.
Thoughts on horror noir?
Horror noir, kind of like...
Elaborate.
Elaborate on horror noir. Like, because whenever I think of noir, I think of kind of like black and white. Sort of that. Oh, speaking of which, you want to know what movie that I'm, like, kind of confused by myself? Why I've seen it actually more. I've seen it probably about 4 times now.
What?
Antichrist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting one to watch multiple occasions.
Right?
That's that's a lot of people's one and done.
Yeah, like, people will, like, watch it once and be like, I can't watch that again. It's the one with the famous Willem Dafoe's Dick Devil.
Yeah.
You know, and all of that.
Oh, I think he's talking about the Shudder, A History of Black Horror.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't. No.
I haven't. I love Shudder. For being a horror movie streaming service, they don't have a lot of horror movies, to be honest, that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
That's my only issue with it, is that I can't justify actually buying it. The only thing I do like about Shudder is if you have the app, they stream movies. So, like, the movies you can watch willy-nilly all you want, but they stream it at a certain time. So, like, it's kind of like watching TV, but it's, like, on an app, so it gives you that nostalgia of, like, oh, I gotta tune in this time so I can, like, watch it at the same, like, when it's streaming, even though I can watch it willy-nilly when I want.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the fun, like, or, like, sometimes I'll pull it up and just, like, hop into whatever's playing, and I'm like, oh, I love this movie, and I'll just finish it. I don't know, because, like, the thing is, it's, like, the only thing I miss about TV is the willingness of, like, what's on? That's just what I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
But I fucking hate commercials, and I refuse to watch anything with commercials because I don't have time. They're wasting my time. Don't waste my time.
I like Shudder because it has basically all of the Rob Zombie movies. I like that because I can't really find them all in the same place, but they have. I mean, he has like Devil's Rejects, Three from Hell, all that stuff.
R.I.P. to God, what's his name?
Yeah, the one in Devil's. Well, he's done like all of them.
Yeah.
Crap, what's his name?
The clown.
Yeah. R.I.P. though.
Yeah.
Love you.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Love you, BB.
Like him and his wife, Rob Zombie's wife's in all of their movies, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, because he's basically like, hey, check out how hot my wife is.
That's a documentary we should all watch. All seen Cutting Pieces, a documentary on slashers with interviews from people like Wes Craven and Toby Hooper and John Carpenter. That would be a fucking good one.
Be
I mean, those are like the big bangers of of the fucking slasher community.
Yeah,
for real.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, one of my favorite. What is it when it's like not a documentary, but it's a documentary?
Mockumentary.
One of my favorite mockumentaries is the Nightmare on Elm Street mockumentary because it's a super long one, but it's really good because it's actually talking about Nightmare on Elm Street and all of that things, but low-key, high-key, Freddy Krueger's alive and he's coming into the documentary. And it just,
that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole thing just because it was like a little bit boring, but like also it was fucking long. But I loved the subtle little like love that it gave him, that he was like in it still, and that's why I'm really sad that Robert Englund won't ever do another Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
he's done officially. But I get it.
There's been
because that's the thing is like the first and second Nightmare on Elm Street I think are quality.
Yeah,
I think the third one was pretty good too.
I don't remember the third one. When did he turn into a worm? Is that fourth?
I think it was fourth or fifth.
Yeah, fourth or fifth. Freddy vs. Jason was a banger.
Yeah,
it was a banger.
It was a banger.
That's a bang. I love that movie.
I didn't mind the one that they did with the guy who plays Rorschach in Watchmen. It was probably like 2008, 9. That one was decent. But I just think there's a point in time where like people do these movies for money.
Yeah.
And they don't do them justice. Like, how many Friday the 13th movies do we have to get before we realize like we're done with this?
Like,
series?
come on.
Like, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed in Halloween because basically they have the first 8 movies, and then they remade Halloween. It's basically a part 2 of the original, which I really like, but I thought they should do the first 2 movies because the first one is obviously the story, and then the second one is her in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I feel like, because they took that one out, it's basically just based off the first one, but I feel like if they had that second movie where she's in the hospital being terrorized part 2, would make it more sense as to why she went as crazy as she did.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they took it out, and so nothing's canon. Because technically, she shouldn't have a daughter. She should have a son. Because I think it's the 6th or the 5th one.
I don't like it when they like keep continuing with this series, but then go, oh, actually, that's not canon. Like, I'm just kind of like, stick to your guns, man.
Because yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. There's a fantastic documentary on Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and the queer themes it's embedded with and how it was rejected by a homophobic audience and later reclaimed by queer people and horror fans reading into the subtext of a gay kid dealing with hiding in the closet.
I have read
That's interesting.
I have read that the second one did have a lot of like gay undertones, and that was like a really good one. I really like the third Nightmare on Elm Street because it brought back Nancy from the first one, but it's about like these kids in an insane asylum, which brings you to Freddy versus Jason because one of the brothers had one of the kids the 2 kids that were in the insane asylum, the one that died, that wasn't the love interest. His brother was in that third movie and he killed himself, and that's why I really like see, that's why I'm like I can like the first 3 of those ones because the third one brings back Nancy and kind of wraps it up but doesn't really wrap it up, but kind of makes it like this like we're trying, like it's like almost like a conspiracy. That's why I kind of also really like Freddy versus Jason, because it's like a whole conspiracy movie trying to hide the fact of Freddy. Because if you don't think about him, he doesn't have any power, which I love that I kind of like thought process of like giving power to the monster kind of attitude.
If you think about it.
If you think about it, he's real, but if you don't think about it, he's not real. And that's why I really liked it. Well, I think I told you this. Do you want to know a cool Halloween? Because have you ever seen Halloween 3?
You just read my mind. I was gonna say, can we talk about Halloween 3?
Okay, so do you want to know the story behind Halloween 3 as to why they made it?
Please.
Okay, so Halloween 3 has no Michael Myers in it.
Right.
At all.
No Michael Myers. So you're like confused because you're like, what the fuck is this movie? Because first of all, weirdest fucking movie ever.
It doesn't make it, like, the thing is you're like, what is up with all of these shamrocks?
Yeah, because it's like a whole different, like, if you think about it also, like, in a sense of, like, it's just its own separate movie.
Yeah.
That's what it was supposed to be. So basically, with Halloween, the first two did really good. So then they wanted to actually continue Halloween, but in a different aspect. So they wanted to take away from Michael Myers, but make Halloween stories.
Yeah.
So initially, the third one was supposed to be the start of the series of just Halloween stories that happen on Halloween night. So like horror movies that happen on Halloween night. But the third one did so fucking bad because people were mad that Michael Myers wasn't in it. They just cut it. There's like fucking.
And I'll have to go rewatch this. So take this for a grain of salt. I feel like Halloween 3 as a standalone movie is creepy as shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But compared to like more Michael Myers, because like the Shamrock was weird. It was like this weird like brainwashing advertisement thing to get these masks that are just gonna fucking murder you.
Yeah, they're just gonna blow up your brain.
Just gonna.
I really like the Halloween 3. I think it's funny, and also the theme song was pretty fucking.
Isn't there like one shout out to Michael Myers in it though?
There's like
Isn't
a
he on the
single
TV?
one.
Yeah. I think
they're playing it in the background.
I think they play it because they gave like a nod to the Thing in the first movie.
Yeah.
So I think they did kind of like the same concept where like that's what I love about horror movies is sometimes they'll play other horror movies to give like a homage to it.
Yeah.
But
Fearless for showing kids dying.
Yeah.
They didn't give a.
They were like, later.
But so that's what Halloween 3 was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be about Michael Myers. They didn't make an intent to continue Michael Myers. They wanted to make Halloween stories for Halloween Day.
Yeah.
But it did so bad because people were so fucking confused.
Which Halloween is it where Busta Rhymes roundhouse kicks Michael Myers?
Oh, dude.
That's one of the best scenes in a movie.
Honestly, iconic. Halloween 3 is my favorite. And
Corporation about a holiday removing the purpose of the holiday. Yeah.
Oh, what's happening?
Yeah,
today?
100%.
Yeah, no, totally. Oh, speaking. This is kind of off the topic of Halloween, the movies, but Trick or Treat.
Love that movie so much.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I love it so much.
That they did not make more of it.
Right? Same. Yeah. They could have gone so far because of the thing with like the multiple different stories, all interlocking, and then like the Sam character.
Trick or Treat is one of those ones that is a true cult fan base. Yeah. Because like you talk to a lot of people and like I've never heard of Trick or Treat, but then you find someone who knows it, like it's so fucking good.
You're like like Spirit Halloween. I love how they picked up the license. Because the thing is, you can't find Trick or Treat merchandise anywhere except at Spirit Halloween.
I have to tell you guys something.
Yes.
And chat, Bebert, everyone.
Everybody.
I have to come out.
Yeah.
I've never seen Hocus Pocus.
You've never seen Hocus Pocus?
Not even on like ABC Family, nothing.
No.
Oh.
What?
Never seen Hocus Pocus.
That's honestly like.
And I know when we talk about horror, it's not necessarily horror, but it's Halloween horror.
That's what I always think, because I think of horror and then I think of Halloween movies, like Halloween Town, Hocus Pocus. I think of like Practical Magic as kind of like a Halloween like witchy movie, but it's not horror, but it kind of is because it's witches. Yeah. But it's not at all. It's fantasy, but like.
It's like Halloween.
It gives me Halloween vibes. Yeah. Like I always start October off with, or like not even October, but like September with Hocus Pocus, which. The second, there's a book, I'm like halfway through and I need to finish it. I'm so bad at finishing books. I really like it because it's this mom story. So it's the story of the mom.
What?
Yeah, so the Hocus Pocus, or not Hocus Pocus, sorry. Practical Magic was written as a book. and they came out with I don't remember what it's called, but it's a prequel basically to Practical Magic, where it's the mom story. Because you know how they kind of touched on it just a little bit, and how she died of sadness, essentially, and that's what happened to her.
Yeah.
They talk about what happened to her and what her story was like. For then.
Interesting.
And then it goes in more into like the ants and like what their story is too. So it's like a prequel to Practical Magic of like the Anderson sister. No, it's Anderson sisters.
Sanderson sisters.
And yeah, Sanderson sisters.
So we got some recommendations for found footage. I've seen Troll Hunter, and then Borderlands and Man Bites Dog.
I have not heard of Man Bites Dog at all.
I haven't either.
Cujo.
I do think, since we're talking about horror, and I have a couple subject changes that I want to get to soon, but we have to give a shout out to Stephen King and all the movies.
Shouts out.
Even though he hated The Shining as a movie, I think The Shining as a horror film is top quality.
It's okay. Me and Stephen King are on the same boat.
She does not like
It's
The Shining.
fine.
I like it. That was kind of one of the first like older sort of scary movies.
If Jack Nicholson was not acting in that, and if you have not read the book,
it
would have been
one of the best movies.
Yeah.
Horror movies.
Oh, of course.
When you read the book and then you watch it,
then it's kind of like,
I get it.
Bummer.
Yeah, the thing is, I liked The Shining. I just didn't love The Shining. Because the thing is, everyone jerked it off so much that I was like, I just don't get it. And then I read the book and I was like, I actually developed a better appreciation for the movie because I read the book, because I fucking understood what was happening.
Yeah.
Still not as good, but I that's one that I will say in the horror community that is that is a hot fucking take. Shining is all overrating.
Because that's what I wanted to get into is what are people's hot takes in the horror movies that aren't. Another great animal attack movie is Roar or White Dog, but White Dog would be what I recommend because of the racial subtext.
Okay, I like it.
What are some of your guys' hot takes for horror films that you just think aren't great? I'll go first. I said The Babadook. And I'll tell you why. I think The Babadook is a good movie when you look at the big, like the grand scheme of what The Babadook represents.
Yeah.
For me, it was 100%. They advertised that movie wrong. I went in thinking that Babadook was going to be this scary horror flick with this creepy creature, and I got a lady dealing with trauma, and that trauma got represented as a monster.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is not a good way to go at horror fans.
Yeah, no.
I agree, because I didn't like the Babadook either. I mean, I was alright. I feel like I needed to watch it again. That's why I never really made a full opinion on it, because I watched it the first time and I was just like, the fuck did I just watch? And
I
then
remember getting spooked by it.
I remember it was creepy. I didn't love it. I didn't really was that scared by it. I was just kind of like, okay, I don't know. I got my own traumas. I was just like, I don't need to listen to this.
I got my own traumas. I don't need this. I feel like it would have been 10 times better. This is technically, well, I mean, I feel like everybody agrees with this. It would have been 10 times better if the kid was not in it. That kid annoyed the fuck out of me. I wanted to clock him so hard.
I think that was the whole point, though, right? Is like the kid, like, kind of would drive her nuts, but also remind her of her dead husband.
So she was just like,
because I think the whole point was like if the Babadook got her, she was gonna kill herself and the kid.
And the kid, yeah.
That's a good take, though. The A24 part.
I'm trying to think of other hot takes that.
Quality horror. Well, A24 is. Yeah.
I don't like a lot of the stereotypical like creepy clown, creepy nun movies.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the Nun. I didn't really like the Nun.
Which one was that?
That was the one that recently came out.
Was that in the world of The Conjuring?
Yeah, in the Conjuring world. It's like the most recent one. I feel like they spread that too thin. You know, I feel like they had too many. I liked when they highlighted more on kind of the Elaine and
their family.
Yeah, the ghost hunting.
Yeah,
couple.
The Warmoses.
Yeah, I really liked that because then they're like, it's actually like those are actual real people.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh, that's cool, that's awesome, but I didn't like how they kind of like expanded just on every single little ghost that was set in.
That's the problem with horror, though, kind of in general, is like it can be super cheap to make a horror film, and there's diehard horror fans who will go see anything that's horror.
Mm-hmm.
So like you still could turn a profit, but it's a bummer because like you get a lot of movies that are just, you know, spit shine copies of the same thing over and over again. That's why I like some of these new directors who are coming out with films that are completely out of the box.
Yeah. Speaking of low budget movies that I will ride this train until I die. One movie that I've been trying to force Holly to watch. I've been trying to force people to watch it with me, but nobody will watch it with me.
Sounds familiar. It's almost like I've been telling you guys to watch a movie for like a year now.
Well,
What's in the fucking box?
What's in the fucking box?
You can know what's in this.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? I gotta know what's in the box.
Yeah. Do you not know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
Oh, I already know the spoiler. That's why it's hard for me to watch.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
I don't even know the spoiler. Yeah,
the movie's so good even knowing what's in the box.
Then we should watch it because if you don't know it, then you're gonna love it.
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, you should probably watch it.
Yeah, I should probably watch it.
I'm dying to know your guys' opinion.
Yeah.
I watched the first 30 minutes. It's honestly...
And it makes it even more creepy because now we know what's his butt was a pedo.
Oh. Who? Wait, who?
What actor?
I don't know, the fucking... I can't remember his name on the top of my head. The dude who was in the Netflix series that was all about politics.
Oh, what's his name? The one that was also in Horrible Bosses?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, now that we know Kevin Spacey's a fucking...
pedo.
My other not take would be that horror movie fans are either the richest or meanest people you ever meet. Or nicest
or the meanest people.
They gatekeep hard or they're open the floodgates. I agree. We were literally talking about that at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, we're definitely, we do not like gatekeepers.
Do you want my jacket?
Oh, close the window. Close the window.
I'm gonna close the window.
You're good.
Yeah, I was like, you're looking chilly, my guy.
I am just small and I don't have any meat on my bones.
I opened that before you guys got here because it was a little stuffy.
Oh.
So I just wanted it to be
a little stuffy in
here. A
here.
little airflow in
here. A little stuffy. Oh, but the movie that I will die on this hill. I recently, and by recently I mean literally yesterday, I watched the next movie, and there's like a whole series. And the thing is it's one of those movies that like it's so bad that it's good.
Love it. Those are my favorite.
And the first movie that I was, and also the best one out of them so far, what I've seen, and it's the one that I recommend to everybody, had a budget of $400.
Oh, let's fucking go.
Yeah. And so it's called Bad Ben.
Okay.
And it's about just this guy. It literally has one guy in it, and also he's the director as well. So he directs it, and then he also is like the main character in this movie. And he basically buys this house off of a police auction, and then and then he's like flipping. He wants to flip the house, and he wants to do like a little YouTube channel. And so he's like recording himself, but he's also like this like middle-aged man where he doesn't know much about technology. And this was made like 2010 or something like that. And so like he doesn't know much about technology, and he goes in to flip this house and like weird things happen, but it's just him, and he has like, he sees that there's a bunch of cameras around the house, and he's like, oh, that's weird. And so he calls like the security people, and he's like, hey, can I like just turn on these cameras, because he thought that somebody broke into his house and like rearranged the furniture and all that stuff. And so he's like, I want to catch these kids who are doing this, who are like messing with me. And you just see everything just like move on its own and all this stuff, and then him just get pissed off and like realize that it's like a ghost, but then be like, I bought this is my house, you leave. And kind of like goes face to face with and it's this whole thing. There's like also a whole like cult fan base apparently. And the most recent movie that he came out with is called Bad Ben Pandemic. And it's basically, which I realized this kind of like leads into it with the one that I watched previously, is because at the end, like something happens to him at the end, and I think people assume that he dies or something like that. I don't know what exactly happens. But the next movie that I watched was these people, like paranormal investigators, going to the same house and being like, oh, this is where like, you know, Bad Ben is. And like, this is where his name was like Tom something, and they're like, you know, where this happened to Tom, and then Tom ends up showing up, something like that, and then he helps them out. Like the thing is, they don't force him to be in this house, but it keeps like attacking him and everything, and he's like, you guys are assholes for making me be here. And they're like, we didn't make you be here. And he's like, screw you guys, wow. And then afterwards, he's like, maybe I'll be a paranormal investigator. And they're like, you'll be really good. Like, like, anybody but him, I'm like, God, you suck, I hate you. But when he talks, I'm like, I love you.
So,
you're fantastic.
After this podcast, please remind me, because we talked about doing a low-budget film.
Yes.
I have what I think could potentially be a really good idea for it.
Yes.
And I'll run it past you guys.
Okay.
And I think it actually... low budget might be really, really creepy.
I'm about it.
So we'll talk about that after, because I've been writing a lot of
Uh-huh.
different things, and I came up with an idea that I haven't seen, but I think it could be really good. So what I wanted to get into on a different subject, away from movies, is the new generation of horror that comes from Reddit, 4chan, creepypasta.
Yeah.
Because we really have a whole entire community that is involved in that, and we have now characters that are ginormous. You know, like
Slenderman.
Joe and Jane the Killer.
Yeah.
Slenderman, the Rake.
Yeah.
Skinwalkers are popular.
Yeah.
You know, like all this whole entire horror community that has like sprouted up from stories. Like, I mean, Slenderman was a game that churned into creepypastas, that turned into literal murder.
Like, people literally murder the people in the name of Slenderman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know what you guys are involved with as far as like that type of community. I've listened to a lot of creepypastas over the years, and I do have to say that, and I guess this is a hot take in itself. In my eyes, personally, they're the best horror to intake.
I used to, like, I haven't read a lot of creepypastas recently, but especially when I was first starting to get into horror, it was like, that's kind of the thing that started to get me into watching horror movies and doing all that, was reading creepypastas.
Yeah.
And really getting into that. And I still love reading them just in general, because it just, you know, just reading it, some of them are so well written too that you're like, oh my god. Or there's a lot of creepypasta games.
Yes.
You know, and then also like, have you heard of like the mind room game? Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
And then also like, what is it, the elevator game as well? Those are things that like you read about, and then it's like you want to try it.
But then you're like, ugh.
You're like, oh my god. I have a friend who actually has done like the mind walking game. She like is like a guide. Like, she's done it for multiple people. She's guided multiple people through it. Yeah.
Can you get her in contact with me?
Oh, 100%.
Can we do that as like a fucking one-off thing?
Yeah, she'd probably be super down. I mean, it's a lot of like, you probably wouldn't be, well, because you're like meditating and everything, and she just like walks you through the whole entire process and everything. But apparently some people have come across some really weird shit.
Yeah. Documentary on the murder was Beware the Slenderman.
Yeah.
And this, for me, this kind of goes into gaming as well, because I do a lot of horror gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of elements have been taken from creepypasta. But then you have like these subcultures that have sprouted up of stuff that people are now actually scared of in real life, like animatronics. Is it something that a lot of people are really afraid of? And it's almost like it's sprouted from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, at its core, you think of that game and you're like, it's kind of, okay, it's a jump scare game.
Yeah.
But then you think of animatronics and you see them and you're like, they're kind of fucking creepy.
Yeah.
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 What were we watching? Were we watching, was it that movie?
Oh no, we watched that little clip. Remember that?
clip.
We watched a little clip that I think was on Shudder.
Yeah.
That was like, it was something like, it was just like The Hug. That's what it was.
That's
named
what
or
it's
something.
called, yeah.
And it was like an animatronic, and it ended up like eating a kid or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like, they were like, it was his birthday, and he was like, dance for me, puppets.
Puppet dance!
And then the guy was like, no, they need to go
Feeding
eat
time.
too. Like, they need to rest.
Yeah.
And then the kid woke it up, and then it just...
Ate the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like, the guy's like, oh, bummer, dang
Bummer.
it, I can't believe that happened.
It's like, what can I do?
Oh. Animatronics are terrifying, but I know that I always have had a fear of them, even before I would, like Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff like that, because, like, when I dream, not recently actually, but like especially when I was younger, when I was really really active in like reading and like very imaginative things, I had like almost kind of like this little dream like area that I would go to multiple occasions, almost every single night. And there was always this one reoccurring dream part that I would have where I would kind of walk through this hallway, and it was like an abandoned kind of museum, and it had like animatronics in the museum, and I would be with some friends and we would kind of like walk through the pathway, and it would just kind of be dark and there would be like the animatronics, and then eventually my friends would like kind of like wander off, and then I would keep walking and it would just be like these animatronics there, and I was always so terrifying.
Animatronics are just because like at its core, if you think of like what you could program something to do, in theory, you can't, we're not at the point yet where we could give it its own power to like its own thought process. But if you wanted to create something with the intention to kill, if everything lined up perfectly, it could happen. If you were like at a Chuck E. Cheese knockoff, and like if someone gets too close, maybe the animatronic like swings a fist at it, like you could program that. I don't know, the other crazy thing too that's getting really popular and has been for several years, but it's getting more attention, is ARVs. So alternative reality, or ARGs. And what it is, it's like really popular on YouTube, where these YouTube channels will sprout up. And I watched a phenomenal one that blew my fucking mind. So your channel is based off of like, it's real, but it's fake. And the one that I watched was this girl who started off, and you don't know that this is what the channel is, but it started off as just regular vlogs. And it was her like vlogging her life and vlogging just things that were going on. And then there was like one vlog that she posted, and this was over like a 6-month period, where like she made a subtle hint about like a guy who like seems to always be like in her apartment's parking lot. And then like other vlogs happen, and like you'll catch glimpses of that car, but she doesn't like acknowledge it. And then it turned out being like one night, her and her friend are hanging out, and they're like vlogging together, like streaming or something like that. And like these lights flash into her apartment, like the car's like out there, like in front of it. And then it turns into they both get fucking kidnapped, and then one of them gets murdered.
What?
And honestly, like if they didn't come out and say that it was this ARG, there was people who thought it was real. I watched it through someone explaining it, so I knew that it was fake. If I was watching him, I would have 100% thought that guy, because like the ending videos are of him, because he kidnapped him, taking their phone and recording a vlog of them being fucking captured and her killing one, or him killing one. It's like shit like that is just super popular now.
No, that's like I remember in high school, I think it was high school. You remember Meat Sleep?
That sounds so fucking
familiar. You remember Meat Sleep? It was this YouTube channel that that like I don't know how I found it necessarily, but it was like these really obscure videos. Like sometimes it was literally just like recording like this corner of like a wall, and then you could hear like an ice cream truck in the background or something, and like just like very weird things. And then the one that got the most publicity, I guess, was this one video where it's showing like this disgusting basement where it looks like that it's like an area where they would like keep somebody in a sense. I don't know how to explain it, but like there's then like this audio where it's like I give you something, like I give you somewhere to sleep, I bathe you, I feed you, I get like all this stuff. But that's like one of the like longest videos, and then the other ones are like little clips of just kind of like a park or something, or like just like different areas. And for the longest time people were like, what the fuck is going on? And nobody could figure out what was happening, and then eventually it deleted. Like it was completely gone. I remember because I showed my friend it one time, and she was like, that's the creepiest shit I've ever seen. The next time I hung out with her, she was like, hey, I was telling my friend about that who was with us, and she's like, pull it up, let's watch it. And I pull it up and it's gone.
So we had a couple questions. Thoughts on what's going on in Haiti? Please explain. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. I'm assuming you all remember the creepy video Obey the Walrus?
Obey the Walrus?
Oh, Obey the Walrus?
That sounds familiar.
Whenever I think about the Walrus, I immediately think about the movie The Walrus.
I think it's
The
Tusk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie was fucking wild.
So going off of what you said, I don't want to talk about this too much on this podcast for a lot of reasons. If you guys are more interested in this, I'm starting Daxcast back up. We did a whole segment on that. More news on that later. But there was a YouTube channel that got created a while ago, and it was called World Corp something or the other.
Oh.
And it was a weird, like, it got attention like years after, and now the video, they don't have a YouTube channel, but they have they're in a lot of other places, and some of the videos that they had posted on their YouTube channel originally were clips from really bad things, and also like they didn't show anything, but the longer video was from really bad things. And then they also had videos that were of potential politicians doing things. And it's a whole rabbit hole of things that I don't want this channel to be known for.
Yeah.
But that's the other side of this, is like there are these channels that are popping up that are trying to send messages about horrible things going on, and they get taken down.
That's wild.
Haiti is dealing with dictatorship going on because the president refuses to vacate office, and he uses a death squad to kill protesters. He is basically the U.S. because he is backed by the U.S. because the U.S. mines there. That's crazy. Is he the same president that has the death squad that goes and just kills people who are apparently drug users? I can't remember if that was in Haiti or if that's in somewhere South American-ish area.
I don't know for sure.
I do think, too, with horror, one thing that's definitely interesting is it does seem most horror fans also dabble in more of the darker side of things as well. Like, we're all into true crime.
Yeah.
Most horror fans are into true crime.
Yeah.
You know, people who are into horror typically are... There's usually an aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know, it's that. I hate generalizing, but like typically people who are into horror also are into like, you know, tattoos, piercings. Like there's almost a whole
like
culture.
The alternative sort of vibe.
Do you think it, like on a deeper level, do you think that it's like people who are into horror and all that other type of stuff, is it because they just don't want to do like the norm, or the norm doesn't interest them, or is it just enjoying the movies? Because I've thought about this before, where I'm like, am I into horror because I don't like normal shit, or am I into horror because horror is good?
Yeah, the thing is I feel like there's a big community and stuff like that a lot of horror fans like to be in. And then there's also, because I mean, the thing is I was like, I like normal stuff, and then I also really like a whole bunch of everything, you know? But horror is like one of my bigger interests. But the thing is, I was like, I know that like I'm definitely interested in like, you know, why can't I think of the word? The thing that we were just talking about.
True crime?
Well, other than true crime, the videos.
Oh, the AR.
Yeah, like the AR.
The
something.
alternate reality game.
Alternate reality, stuff like that. And those are something that like I'm really interested in. I know a lot of other people are interested in, especially if you watch horror movies.
Yeah.
And
creepypastas, like
creepypastas.
It's almost like if there was like a list of like, okay, these are all things that are in horror.
Yeah.
That are that potentially most people would be involved in. It's like there's like a checklist of things. I don't know. It's just interesting to me.
Straying away from the mundane, I guess, that it's something that people like about that.
I think, like, because there's like a statistic that like people who watch horror are more okay with death. But I also think it's like, because if you think of like horror fans and like metal fans, they kind of look a lot similar. But like with metal fans, they actually find a statistic that people who listen to metal are actually the most calm, most nurturing and sweetest people. Same with people with horror. I think it kind of brings into like this, you see so much gruesomeness and you're just like so okay with it. And that's, I think, the same kind of with like metal. It's like you listen to it and it amps you up, and it brings you a release.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is, because a lot of people don't like horror because they don't like to be scared. They don't like to think about things like that. They don't like to be like reminded that there's like that kind of thing in the world. I think it's the same with like people who don't like metal. They don't like the heaviness, the hard hitting, the gutturals, the screams. And I think that, but a ton of metalheads find it actually really calming and relaxing.
Yeah.
I think it just is kind of like your taste and your wiring. I think that's a genuine like what a lot of it is. Because like my dad doesn't hate horror, but he doesn't love horror. He's kind of indifferent when it comes to horror. Like he'll watch it because like when I started getting into horror, he watched all the classics with me. Just because he likes watching movies too.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't go out of he's not like obsessed with horror like how I am. But like I think it's just kind of like those little things and like why they kind of like correlate kind of makes sense in the sense of like it brings a kind of calm serenity that a lot of other people don't have.
Yeah. That's like it makes me think of like because I mean my mom doesn't like any movies that have to do with anything dark at all. Yeah. Like, that's a big reason why, like, because I was watching The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this part, and, like this part that came on, and she was like, oh, I hate this movie. And I was like, why? It's, like, probably one of the most beautiful Disney movies. Yeah. And she was like, it's just too dark for me. It's just too dark.
I think, too, part of it, I know Utah is tough because we're vastly different than a lot of other states, but we do have a large community that doesn't involve themselves in things that are scary or dark or that are that are not the norm, and it does really bother them. And I don't personally understand it. I get like if you don't want to watch like movies that have sex or nudity, like that's one thing.
Yeah.
But to avoid, things that are, I don't know, different or scary or like. Yeah. Maybe more dark. It just seems like I don't know. Why are you fearful of it?
No, it's the same thing. Like, I mean, I watch horror movies almost every other Thursday with my grandma.
Yeah, I saw your Snapchat.
Yeah, and the thing is like, we usually will avoid movies with, like, nudity or the F word because that's something she just doesn't like. Yeah. But she always wants to she always wants to, like, actually watch horror movies. Yeah. We just have to kind of be a little picky and choosy. Yeah. Because she just doesn't like the F word and then tits.
Well, that's fair.
Which is like, okay, yeah, you're grandma. Understandable.
Yeah. Tits are cool though, grandma.
Yeah, come on.
Tits are fine.
Talking about movie people's stereotypes, Disney adults are the worst.
I had the potential of being a Disney adult.
Yeah, you did.
And then I haven't watched a Disney movie since on my own, really, honestly.
I fuck with Disney, but I'm definitely not it's not my whole life, for sure.
Like, the thing is, I have a somewhat Disney, it's a subtle Disney tattoo, because the thing is, I never wanted to get, like, a cartoon, like, a character on my leg, like, I never wanted to get a character, but I do have, like, a hot air balloon. Have you ever seen my Disney tattoo?
I think so.
She got a hot air balloon.
It's a hot air balloon. But you notice anything in it? It's Hidden Mickey.
Which is like a cute little...
Yeah, I like that.
Because I wanted a hot air balloon, but I also wanted a Disney one. But like thinking about like the pattern on the hot air balloon, I was like, it'd be so cool if I had a Hidden Mickey inside of it.
Yeah.
And when I told the tattoo artist, fun fact, this pattern is from the Disneyland Resort Hotel. Except they tore it down, changed it, so the carpet's not there anymore.
Oh!
But that's the carpet that used to be in it, and then you would find Hidden Mickeys in the carpet. I think the thing is with Disney adults, it's like, or Harry Potter adults.
It's not really much me. That's my mom, though. That is my mom.
Shots fired.
100%. We have a whole Harry Potter corner in our house.
I think that's... The thing is, like, I know... I have a hard time, because, like, the thing is...
Fucking Crystal.
Fucking Crystal. I don't know. It's hard because, like, you have those, like, stereotypical adults, like the Disney adults, the Harry Potter adults. You can say, like, superhero adults. You can say Star Wars adults, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, like, I'm a Star Wars adult.
Yeah, Bieber's Harry Potter doll. Hey,
no.
I found this video where it was these... Okay, their whole channel is Disney related. Yeah. And they are the stereotypical Disney adult. Mm-hmm. It's this couple. They are what you would define as cringe. Yeah. But it's fine. They're happy.
Yeah.
They made a video called Speed Running Disneyland. And it was like the craziest thing to like realize that some of these Disney adults know every nook and cranny. So what they did is they came up with this like I don't even know what you would call it because it's not a scavenger hunt, but like this hit the hot places in Disneyland the fastest, and if you can beat our record, we'll give you like a gift or something like that. So like it's literally like it's like I don't remember, it was like the fastest way to get to Space Mountain to like Thunder Mountain Railroad to Small World to Haunted Mansion to Pirates and then something else and then to this like restaurant. And if you can do it faster than us or something like that, and watching them run around Disneyland as adults was just...
You were like, oh boy. Oh boy.
The thing is that they're just in Arrested Development. Wow, bro, rude. I'm definitely not in a TV show. I read the Disney adults, but not Harry Potter. I don't know, Harry Potter's a little bit different because I don't feel like... I don't know, there's something about Disney adults where it's just like...
We have a lot of Disney adults where we live.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of a Disney
Because the thing is, I fucking love Disney. I would vacation to Disney once a year. Yeah. I would go that far. The thing is, I like Disney that much. If I had the money. If I was dating the guy that had the Disney hookups.
That's just min-maxing life at that point. For real. Straight up min-maxing. No, I fuck with Disney quite a bit. Yeah. I will watch usually all the movies that come out and try and keep up on it. But I'm definitely not I'm not like a collector or a diehard or anything like that. Like I know people who like waiting lists for like new items of Disney, and it'll be like a fucking keychain or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that takes it to a whole new level. Yeah. But then again, my ex's mom was really into Mickey Mouse. Hardcore into Mickey Mouse.
What's your problem with Mickey Mouse?
To the point where we had friends over, because the thing is, his mom really wouldn't allow him to have parties at his house, but she would go to Disney a lot because they were they were on this program where they were Disney vacationers, which is basically having a timeshare for Disney.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's actually a good deal. If you go to Disney a lot, it is beneficial to do. It's just like having a second mortgage. But it really is. That's how they described it. They're like, oh, if you want to join, you basically have to have a second mortgage.
Yeah.
Because you're paying so much into it, but you're getting so much more benefits. Yeah. Anyways, we had a party, and this girl and her boyfriend was there, and she didn't really drink a lot, and she got wasted. She got white girl wasted, and she never really was there before, and she went downstairs to the basement, which is even more Mickey Mouse, because upstairs was Mickey Mouse, downstairs is Mickey Mouse, and then if you look in her bedroom and then her room, it's Mickey fucking Mouse. And she comes upstairs, she's like, excuse me, sir, I must ask you a question, but what is your deal with Mickey Mouse? And she said it just like that. I have the video. Video.
I think I might have the video where she because the thing is she was like drunk sobbing, like because her boyfriend was going to the military or something like that, and then like went downstairs to talk and whatnot, and we're all drinking upstairs, and she comes up and there's like tears still like staining her face, and she's like, and we're like, hey dude, you doing good? And she is like kind of stumbles and like falls against the door frame, and she's like, I have one question for you, sir. What is your deal with Mickey Mouse?
Hey guys.
Go Eagles!
What up, Googles? Fuck, marry, kill. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy. I'll handle this.
Okay. Take one for the team. Okay.
We're fucking Mickey for the money.
Yeah.
For the money.
We're killing Donald.
Because
he's a bitch.
We're marrying Goofy.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Goofy,
ultimate DILF.
You watched the Goofy movie? That boy, he would treat you right.
Oh my god. Right. You know he'd take you on camping trips.
Oh, Goofy does deserve that.
He does. He really does.
His first wife died.
I'd be a great stepmom to Max.
And Goofy because he deserves. But imagine the sounds Donald making, Dad.
Well, what is it? Oh, I wish I could do a Donald Duck noise where it's like, wait, no, that's not.
Yeah, that's the noise.
Mr. Jack, I made a video and I had to.
I heard a creepy story. Oh.
Creepy story?
Spooky.
What creepy story? Interesting.
Disney adults are wild, though.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy.
Dude, commitment to the game, to be honest.
I bet they'd be doing some freaky shit, too. Let's just be honest with each other.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a Disney adult, you're fucking...
You're doing some...
Oh, boy. Just in the bedroom.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Affleck.
Damn.
Affleck.
That's like, I always think about Disney and like kind of like it's like dark history. I mean, other than, you know, Walt Disney being like, you know, a Nazi or whatever. Other than that, but like spooky things. Where like people like, you know, spread ashes over there, like a bunch of places are haunted. And then also just the idea that underneath the park there's just a bunch of tunnels that all the workers go through is like really, like it makes me feel uncomfortable just knowing that.
Do you want to watch the girl real quick?
Oh, yes, this is the video. What did you do with Mickey Mouse?
Oh.
She
was so sad.
Honestly, she was great, but also it was really hard to hang out with her because she was definitely I don't know, it's just hard to be friends with her. I wanted to be friends with her. Our boyfriends were best friends, and they would leave us out of the conversation all the time. Perfect opportunity to build another friendship. No. It was just always me just being like, okay, I guess I'm here.
Yeah.
You're like, so, what does this say? Oh, wait, have you guys heard about the abandoned Disney park? Yes! Yeah! There's actually this YouTuber who I think he got arrested? Something like that, where he made like a career out of going to all of these abandoned Disney parks.
Oh,
like just cool. Like parts of Disney that were were abandoned. He'd figure out a way. Like he went on to like the old, what is it? Is it the Tom Sawyer Island and everything? Like he like swam over.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And all that, and I think he went to that one as well.
It was kind of cool, because like there were still buildings over there, but they had not done anything over there for so long that it was just straight up vegetation.
Yeah, it was just overgrown.
The plant life had taken over.
Makes me want to go and explore. I love exploring abandoned places. It's so fun.
There's a great creepypasta about Disney and how. That's the thing with creepypastas. There's a sect that people say are 100% real, and there's a sect that they say are just fiction.
Yeah.
This person claimed that it's 100% real. They worked at Disney as an employee, and that a lot of the underground tunnels and back areas where like the rides are, you know, the guts of the rides and shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of haunted places.
Mm-hmm.
They say pirates because of all the fucking dead bodies that they used to bring in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use real bones.
Real bones.
Real bones.
Oh yeah. I remember the growth. There's been a lot of deaths at Disney, but Disney just has that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
there's a huge urban exploration scene in Utah. Yeah.
Yes, there is.
There is. I remember like one of the first like activities I did with my ex when we first started dating is we went and we drove all the way over to like the ghost town.
Yeah.
You know, and we like explored that. That was baller.
Savage. What's up, my guy?
Savage.
Savage is the G.
Savage.
The story started off with a group of 4 tunnel rats that were calling to explore this one tunnel. They were so far into the tunnel, and the guys heard a woman. What disembodied voice?
Spooky.
That's a little scary.
That gives me the spooks.
I don't know about you, but I'm a little scared right now.
Well, since we're talking about urban exploring and spooky stuff, maybe I should just announce our show that we're going to be doing. So, for those of you who might be following Topshelfers on Instagram, you may have noticed a trend of posts lately. And they're the Shadowlands of Utah posts. And what Shadowlands of Utah is a website created in 2000-something, and it highlights all of the haunted places in Utah. So I got to thinking, why don't Topshelfers get a team together and go and record and explore some of these areas? So, if Kaylee's still in chat, we almost have everyone here except Forrest.
Yeah, actually.
We're going to do said thing. We're going to hit some of the most haunted or abandoned areas in Utah. The team consists of myself, Kass, Holly, Bieber in chat, Kaylee if she's still in chat, and for those of who've been following Topshelfers for a while, the old co-host Forrest.
Ye old Forrest.
Ye old Forrest. That's probably going to be rolling out, and within, I think my goal for the first episode drop is going to be in August. So look forward to that.
Summer thing.
Yeah.
Because you're out this summer.
I know.
You
I'm
have
not
so much
working.
time.
Yeah, I'm not going to be going to school this summer semester, so Just making.
Yeah, I think that's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Get some you time.
Yeah, I'm like, this is the first summer that I've taken off of school in like 5 years.
Because that's the thing to keep in mind too with that whole idea is like, when you get done with school, if you don't take a break after school, then you immediately just go into work and so when's your free time?
Yeah, exactly.
Go travel, go see some cool shit.
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well.
Might as well.
But yeah, Shadowlands.
Yeah, Shadowlands, Utah. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm hoping that it's gonna be a higher budget. There will be editing. There will be shenanigans.
Shenanigans are happening.
Yeah, shenanigans be happening. Yeah, there'll be more information about it coming out, but it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited, honestly. There's so many, just looking at the Shadowlands posts, that you've been making, and I'm like,
I want to get in that fucking museum.
Dude, I saw you post that, and I was like, I remember, because I used to live, like, up the street from that, and I remember every single time I passed, I'd ask my mom what it was, and I'm like, what is that? She's like, oh, it's this weird abandoned place. It used to be, like, I don't know, a mink factory or something like that. I don't know. Or a museum. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
can we go in it? And we knew the man who, like, owned it at the time. But he was kind of scary, so I was too nervous to ask him if I could go in.
The problem with that one that I'm seeing so far is there's claims that there's still, because it was used for was a museum.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, sorry, this is completely obscure. In Utah, Bountiful, Utah specifically, there is a old abandoned museum, and the building looks wild. It's like a
circle.
Yeah, it's like a circle dome. It's really fascinating looking. But for all of our time growing up, it's always been abandoned. Well, I guess I shouldn't say abandoned. It's always been shut down. The claim is, though, that there is still LDS artifacts in there that they are keeping there just for safekeeping because, like, it's guarded and it has video camera. So I just don't think it's going to be easy to get in there.
Yeah.
And as much as ye old shenanigans goes, there are some specific places they will prosecute you, and there are stories of people getting prosecuted from that
place. Yeah. No.
So we'll see. Need some advice, Top Shelfers. Trying to go back to school this summer and minor in political journalism is a good option as a career. That's a really tough one, my guy. I think political journalism financially could be a great career option.
Yeah.
But you're going into a flooded industry.
Yes.
And you're going into an industry that is going to be very, very aggressive. And what I mean by that is, like, if you aren't willing to do things to get into good positions, it might be really tough. But if it's a passion or a dream of yours, absolutely do it.
If that's something that you're really passionate about and you're really into, just in general, definitely do it. But also, like, keep in mind, since there's a lot of this stuff going on right now, that is something that everybody's going in, like, a lot of people are going into, and it's a very oversaturated market.
Yeah. That's my advice. But I am 100% a person who says I believe anyone can do anything with their life. And if it's something that you truly want to do or you have a passion for, why not?
Do it.
Don't have that regret 10 years later. You're like, fuck, I wish I would have tried it. Just do it. You never know.
That's the biggest thing.
You never know. You might as well try. Like, that's like one of my biggest things is that, like, I wish I had more time in the day to try more things.
Fuck.
Right? Like, it's literally like, I want so many things. That's why I'm looking forward to the summer, is to, like, I don't know, gain a new skill or something like that, just to be able to say I tried it. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think regardless of where you want to sit and what you want to cover, I think that if it's something that you like doing, because that's the thing is, like, if you're passionate about something and you create or you, whatever field you're in, let's say you're a welder, you love welding, you get really good at it, it's your passion, money's going to come to you.
Yeah.
Because people are they're gonna see how good you are, they're gonna see your love for it, and the money will come. So if that's how you feel about political journalism, yeah, for sure. It's, if you're passionate about it, you're creating the content that you're happy with, people will see it and the money will come. If you're not doing it for money, even more props.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it even more. Journalism, yes, political. You pigeonhole yourself into the one theme, and they cannot take other possible cooler stories.
It just kind of depends. That's a really hard career to get into. But honestly, if you have the passion and the drive, that's really what you need to get into it. And you got to be consistent and never give up, because that's one of those, you're going to be pushed down a lot. I mean, what? J.K. Rowling got denied 11 times before Harry Potter got published.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things, it's like you just got to keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.
And if you like politics and you can write
Yeah,
politics,
so that's something that you're passionate about. Do it.
Yeah, especially right now, politics are like the hot take on everything.
Yeah, and I think that if you look at recent numbers from voting and people who are taking in political content, it's only going to get more and more relevant.
Oh yeah, no. One of my bosses actually said just recently, one of the most lucrative businesses forever will be politics, because no matter what, you'll have 50% on your side.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, politics are an interesting one.
Oh yeah, I love politics.
Oh,
I love politics.
Well, to an extent, I'll argue all day. Depends on who's listening.
Oh yeah, I'm like, I don't like to be an arguing person, but you know, like if Aiden comes at us with something, I'll be like, first of all, sit down, son. I'm gonna tell you something.
Listen here, brother.
Listen here, dude.
Listen there, boy. Before I bring the chicken
here.
box into this house,
I
you
will.
won't vaccinate, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Go
unvaccinated
Eagles.
little
Let's
bitch.
make it happen. Go Eagles. Do you know that's what I do now? I didn't know if we talked about that. I do social media managing. Well, I work in marketing, but same thing. I have a business card. You want one?
I got a business card.
Unless you were coming, then you get less than 5%.
Yeah. No, politics for me is just one of those ones where I just don't even. I don't even get involved anymore.
I mean, I have my opinions and I have my beliefs, and that's kind of just all I keep to.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, everyone's gonna argue whether or not I'm right or wrong. It doesn't matter. It's what I believe.
Yeah.
The reason why I gave up on it 100%, and this happened like well before the last couple elections, is we've just gotten to a point in society where, specifically with politics, where if, let's say, Cass and I are complete opposites on everything we believe, we could probably have a conversation and still be on good terms, but not a lot of people can do that anymore.
Oh, no.
So I just don't want to go out and, like, do that. Like, I just don't care. Like, I'm not going to be able to change someone's opinion.
Yeah. And also, you can't be the only, like, tolerant person,
No.
you know, in situations where, because, you know, where it's, like, people, like, butting heads, having that conversation, it's going nowhere. But then when it's, like, two people who kind of, like, are able to actually have a conversation, but then there's always that one where you're trying to have a conversation, but the person is just, like, they're not able to listen. They're not exactly trying to actually have a conversation. They're just trying to tell you something. And it's just kind of like, that's draining. I thought we were having a conversation, but all right.
People in general have this thing where they don't listen anymore. They just hear the rebuttal.
Yeah.
And I can't. And it's very prevalent in politics, and that just bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
I have this weird thing, like, if I'm talking to someone, please just hear me. Like,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's not tough.
That's like it's a big point of like active listening, just in general, is to be able to actually listen to someone, absorb it, and not be thinking the whole time, oh, how am I going to respond to this? How am I going to respond to that? Because then you don't actually hear them. You don't actually get what they're trying to say to you.
Yeah.
Not really picking up what they're putting down.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And just remember, there's no yes or no answer to everything.
Yeah, exactly.
People think there is, but they're...
No, exactly. And like it's kind of like the whole thing with, like, you know, morality is subjective. And if you think about it that way, nobody's right, ever.
Yeah.
In any situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, then again, you know, I don't know. I like to lean towards more the way of, like, just common human decency.
Yeah.
It's not that anyone can really ask for.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's hard
just like,
either.
just be kind.
Yeah. It doesn't cost any money to just not be a dick.
Exactly. But for some people...
It's hard.
It's hard. It's so hard. And I don't understand.
I think that's why social media is so toxic, is it just gives people this weird, just, like, power where they think that they can just, like, I don't know. I also think posting opinion shit is very strange. Like,
yeah, no, because it's
like, you're doing it for a reason. You're trying to fuel the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
You want people to come at you.
yeah.
And you're like, but that's, that's also kind of like, it kind of plays into the whole, like, performative activism sort of thing, where, people will, like, make posts, and like, the thing is that goes on both sides.
Yeah.
Where they'll make these posts and be like, oh, yeah, but then they're not actually doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're not actually, like, doing anything to help, and that's kind of where you're able to see those flaws in people, where, like, sure, if you're just aggressively posting and, like, trying, like, yeah, spread awareness and all this stuff, but, like, do what you can as well.
Yeah.
And also, you don't need to post about it every single time that you do something.
That's a whole thing that bothers me a lot. But there's two sides to it, right? Like, I find it strange when people have to post that they do a good deed.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side of it, I'm like, well, I guess I'd rather someone be posting that they're doing a good deed than posting that they're being a shitty person. So it's tough, but
then you have those outliers, like a lot of like influencers, especially this last summer with the Black Lives Matter movement. There's a lot of influencers getting basically caught not actually protesting. They're just going there, taking a picture, and then leaving. So they're not actually protesting and being activisms. They're just
doing it for the clout.
They're just doing it for the clout.
Yeah. No, it's also the same thing with like people recording and then giving homeless people like food and stuff like that, or like doing all that just for the clout.
No.
Just to get the views. So then they actually make. So they give like a homeless man $100, but they're making like $10,000 off of just that video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff like that's really, I don't know, because like, I think that's fucked up, but at the same time, I guess I'd rather my influencers giving and like showing their audience like, hey, do this more often.
Yeah.
Versus like, because like that's like the popular thing right now is like the giving back.
Yeah.
And that's 100 times better than the pranking that was going on.
Oh yeah. I remember
like,
when the pranking was like big and everyone was like,
do you guys remember the YouTuber that was pranking girls basically by
like roping them?
No, not even.
Oh.
Well, there's that one. But this guy, I only remembered him because his the girlfriend he's seeing now is a dog. She like does puppy play.
Hell yeah.
And they
nice.
So it's really interesting considering seeing who this guy was, and it's like, where did you guys meet and why are you guys together? Because like she does like OnlyFans puppy play is her thing, and he used to make videos where he would ask girls on the street, they're like $100 if you give me your underwear right now, but they were fake $100.
Oh.
So these girls would be giving him their underwear.
That's a backroom casting couch shit. But there is no job.
But there is no job. Surprise!
I can make girls to you $1,000 to $5,000 a day.
Yeah. So basically, he was giving out fake money to these drunk girls getting their underwear, but he was just scamming them.
He was just like, that's ridiculous. Oh, see, the thing is I was like, if somebody came up to me, offered me $100 for my underwear right then, usually if I was out and about, I'd be wearing multiple layers. So I would just, yank one of those babies off, and I'd be like, there you go, give me my money.
Oh no, 100%.
You know,
it's
like, who would do that?
But I don't
$100.
I don't want to be filmed.
Yeah, and then also, don't give them fake money. That's just scamming
just give them real
them.
money.
Yeah.
Come on.
So weird. But I think a lot of that stuff is also just staged.
Yeah.
That's been proven. Like even the guys who go out and like, how to pick up women in the street. Like 90% of the time, it's just staged.
Yeah.
Like they just like find a girl and be like, hey, like here's like $100. Will you just be in this short with us?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, sure. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's sad how a lot of it's fake nowadays. Yeah. I cannot get over like pranksters on Facebook Watch. Like people who mostly post on there, like they have like a YouTube channel, but they normally do like their biggest views and subscriptions on Facebook Watch. I hate them, and for some reason, because I'll watch 5 minutes of it, or I'll watch like the end just to see what it was.
I don't know what this is.
I'm trying to think of these people. I don't know, because sometimes I'm at work, I just get bored, so I'll watch like Facebook videos.
Yeah.
Because like if you watch Facebook videos and you start watching a certain type, you'll get all of those. So like when you watch, like you click on a video and watch it and you scroll, it gives you more recommendation on what you normally watch. So like I've been watching, just because it'll come up once in a while, Ink Masters. Now every time when I scroll through any other video, I still get Ink Masters here and there.
Yeah.
But I get sometimes those prank ones, and they're just god awful. And like you gotta think like prank versus prank. Like there's gotta be a point where you always expect it, and like it can't be healthy for a relationship, or it's just not authentic because you always know you're gonna get pranked. So how can you continuously be pranked?
They came out and said that they weren't together for a lot of that because they hated each other.
Yeah, they like broke up because of it, just how much they fucking hated. Well, also because the guy was a piece of shit. He was mean to her at the end.
Whoa, good morning, Big Papa. You did switch it up on me.
Good morning,
Big
It's typically good night.
Love the sword at the back. Oh, there's actually 4 swords. Here.
4 swords.
There's 4 swords. Sorry, did I hit you?
4 swords and 16 years ago.
Our fathers, something. I can't remember. I had to memorize that in elementary school.
Oh, I didn't have to memorize it until junior high.
I was quite sad about it.
They're pushing it on. They're pushing it, so you have to do it younger.
This is huge, and the thing is I dream. I want. Who was it that I was talking to? I don't know if either of you will know. Holly, possibly. She's kind of like my second brain. She remembered. She's like my memory.
Oh, perfect.
Who said that they wanted to do like blacksmith stuff and wanted to start making swords and whatnot? And I was like, I literally was it you?
Yeah.
Was it you? And I was like, I want
I
want a sword so bad, and I want that more than anything.
I'm waiting for COVID to be lifted. Well, I guess I don't know what. I'm waiting for life to get back to normality because there's a guy who was on Forge and Fire who won.
Yeah.
That's just down like 3500 South area. And they do like training.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Oh, I'm going.
I'm
going.
To do it.
I'm gonna be making me some. It's a fucking. If I can make my own sword.
That would be so
badass.
Cool.
Yeah. Seriously, the thing is like I think I'm like, well, if all of a sudden we were into some weird alternate reality, time swap. All of a sudden we wake up. We're in ye old times.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? What is your skill? If you had that, you could be a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Immediately you'd be like, I know how to do this. Yeah. That would be your typical.
I'm a woman. I just take care of the house.
Oh. I would probably be a barmaid.
There you go.
Damn, we could start our own shop.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
The thing is,
can you bake bread?
Yeah, you
can.
can
Actually.
Okay, bread, bar, blacksmith.
The 3 B's.
Yeah,
the only 3 B's that you need.
Basically, because I'd be like the baker, you would be the bar, and you'd be the blacksmith. So we would be
get your weapons, food, and drinks here.
We would be where all the soldiers stop.
We're the one-stop shop.
One-stop shop.
I know we shamed Harry Potter adults, but I really loved the end of Fantastic Beasts where he makes his own bakery.
Yeah,
and that was so cute.
Because he got his memory wiped, but he also like remembered some of it because he made all the bakery goods into creatures, which I just thought was so fucking cool.
Have you seen the most recent one? Isn't it insane? Have you seen the most recent one? I still am like baffled by Queenie's switch.
Yeah.
To evil.
Yeah.
She literally, it did not take her much.
No.
Which was very unfortunate because she was one of my favorite characters. Because I was literally like, bro, no one's mad at you. Just you're a little much. And you know you're a little much. Why are you getting mad now all the time? Like, out of all of the times to get mad, do you know everyone's got their breaking point?
And like the thing is like the guy was like, I still love her and all. She would just, this is a big shock. And she's like, oh my god, they all hate me. I'm gonna go help these evil guys.
No,
my skills would be crocheting and taking care of the gardens. Oh, hey,
there
see?
You go.
Yeah. Maybe we should just start LARPing.
God damn it.
Listen.
I'm not wearing chainmail. I
mean,
do you know how fucking hard we look if we just all showed up?
We look so fucking
we would look hard.
We look so cool.
We would. The thing is, it's like I would join LARPing, but like the thing is, my boss, because I told him I was like, I love Comic-Con. He's like, do you ever LARP? And I was like, those are 2 fucking different things. Stop trying to categorize me as a LARPer. But now I'm like, but it sounds kind of fun. My talent is I can drink all day and now wake up hungover. Oh wait, you want to understand Harry Potter shit? Just after
you shit on my people.
No, my talent is I can drink all day and not wake up hungover. You're gonna be at our bar.
Yeah, you'll be there hanging out all day, every day.
You're the one who gets more people to drink.
I'm almost like thinking, what's the name of this bar? What's the name of our one-stop shop?
Oh, so it's like all combined?
Yeah,
like
so it's like, you know,
McMansion?
we got like the McMansion.
The McMansion. Jesus Christ.
We need to get back on that. We need to start up the series again of us writing that fiction.
Yeah. The McMansion.
The McMansion.
I told Ari about it, and he was like, so you make all your friends have sex with each other? I was like, we haven't even wrote a sex scene. This is what we've done. And I just went on for like 30 minutes about it, and he's like, is there somewhere I can like read this? And like, is it like published yet? And I'm like,
no, we're working on it.
I was like, no, I was like, and like just like 10 minutes before I started, like I told him about that, I like was a little bit under an influence. And so sometimes when I get under the influence, my southernness comes out. And so I was just talking in a southern accent, and then I switched to my friend fiction, and he was just like, I think I fell in love with you a little bit more tonight. I was like, so yeah.
Yeah, see, the thing is I'm like realizing,
hell yeah, brother.
I'm realizing that when I, you know, start dating someone seriously, you know,
you gotta tell them all the
first, the first step, probably sex. Second step, probably you know, emotional intimacy or something gross. And then I would have to tell them about deeper into the nerdy things that I do, aka the friend fiction, our space opera. But that's a third step. So once a guy gets to there, there we go.
He has to really be on the in and in if he's gonna fucking get to the friend fiction.
That's the funny thing enough. Mine wasn't completely backwards. It was friend fiction, emotional connections, sex.
Yeah,
it really was.
The six. But yeah, we gotta go like LARP. I think we should just be like straight up gang activity when we go too. Like
100%.
Like just be rude as shit. Like these kids like show up like, fuck off.
What are you doing here, bitch?
Yeah.
Where's your chainmail?
This is our
that
turf.
real metal?
Yeah.
Are you sweating your balls off?
Are you messing with us? We have our swords.
Yeah. Who you repping, bitch?
Yeah. Huh?
I bet you don't even have pubes yet, bitch.
Yeah. And then there's like these like 12-year-olds just crying.
They're like,
I'm just swinging like hard as shit. Just fucking thumping these little bastards.
You're like, mess with us again? Don't come on our turf.
Have you ever seen the lightning bolt guy?
No.
Whew.
I'm excited. Lightning bolt.
This is when you know LARPing is the fucking position.
LARPing. I literally am so down. Chat, try and help us come up with an idea for a one-stop shop. I keep thinking about that. Bread, bar, blacksmith.
when you're the wizard at the LARP.
Lightning bolt.
What is this, Zeus?
Lightning bolt.
He's just in a kilt.
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. They're not even acknowledging him. Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt.
That video
Lightning
went
bolt.
so viral. He was on Tosh.0.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
hilarious.
gosh.
Jenna Marbles on Tosh.0.
I love Jenna Marbles. Now she's engaged.
She quit YouTube though, right?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
You know what?
Just sad
Honestly, I'm so devastated. I watched so much Jenna Marbles for a hot minute there. And then she quit. But I also understand why she did it. But the thing is, it's like, especially like with the whole shit with David Dobrik that came up, I'm like, wrong YouTubers are stepping down. Wrong YouTubers are stepping down. Because the thing is, she stepped down for things she said like 10 years ago, which I totally understand, or like 7 years ago. She's like, I feel so bad for ever doing that. And I'm ashamed of myself, and that's why I'm stepping down.
And it was before, she didn't even get called out for it or anything. She just did it on her own volition, which I thought was awesome.
And honestly, it was pretty badass.
It's a weird time that we live in where, you know, we who are older, like Jenna Marbles and, you know, Dawson, not Dobrik, like Shane Dawson, and I'm not saying what they did wasn't wrong, but you know, there's things that culturally I grew up with that like were not seen in the same light they are today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to record the hallways when I was in junior high,
Oh,
the shit that was like being thrown around and like everyone was okay with it would scar kids nowadays.
Oh, it was.
You know, it's vastly different, and you know, I talked to Bieber and Chad a lot about this, right? That I think that maybe there should be, if we're going to continue with cancel culture, there needs to be a system for it, right? I think that if someone has one bad video where like maybe they said some shit that like really is not okay or was controversial or whatever it is, it's like, hey, like, we don't agree with you, this is not okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And they have a chance to better themselves. And then if it gets to a third strike point where it's like, okay, well, this guy is just, or this guy or girl or etc. is just doing this and isn't fixing the problem, then they get canceled. Because I think, like, you know, I know that there's stuff that I've said on the podcast that hits on that edge, that line of edgy.
Yeah, yeah.
Would I get canceled for it? I don't think so. But it's in every content creator's mind. Where it's like, fuck, what did I put out there?
Yeah.
What have I said?
No, yeah. I feel like I've been there. I feel like we've
we've all been there. Like, I mean, us in high school, we were mad cringe kids. Like,
we were mad
100%.
cringe.
Mostly just watched a bunch of, like, Filthy Frank and, like,
it's time to stop. Yeah, Filthy Frank's the shit.
Filthy Frank's
lit,
H3,
iDubbbz.
Have you listened to Filthy Frank's music?
Joji.
It's good.
He's so fucking talented.
He's so fucking
Dude,
good.
It baffles me because I remember low-key, because like in high school, I watched, because it got deleted off of Filthy Frank's channel, I watched him, like, as not a character, talk about why he had to stop Filthy Frank for a while.
Yeah.
And like I actually watched it and I had like, I got a major boner for him instantly after that, because when I saw him as a normal person, I was like, you are hot as fuck. And I'm very conflicted because I also saw you do Vomit Cake.
Yeah!
And all of the above cakes videos.
The amount of times that we watched Vomit Cake was too many.
Oh, because every person that's like, I haven't seen it, we would all
be like, okay, let me pull this up.
I probably saw it 16 times because we had to show everybody.
Yeah, it's anything, probably more than that. I think it's hilarious that Holly and I really bonded over the fact that like she had a major boner for Filthy Frank and I had a major boner for iDubbbz.
Yeah.
And we're kind of like, we both would come to each other and be like, I'm ashamed of this, but I can't hold it in no more.
like I hate myself for it, but like
also, whoo!
But then you look at them now, and you're like,
yeah, it makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
You're
no,
like,
have you seen iDubbbz's girlfriend?
Oh,
she's so hot,
dude. Yeah, and then what was that one kid that? What was that YouTuber that he like basically canceled, and then he came back and
fucking Leafy,
and then he came back and was like,
Cop.
Content Cop is so good because he basically canceled Leafy, but then Leafy came back into fruition when he found that iDubbbz's girlfriend does OnlyFans.
Yeah,
and then iDubbbz is like, yeah, pay my girlfriend, jack off to her. You're just making me money.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's like, I don't give a fuck. I get to fuck her in real life.
Yeah.
like basically just like showing him up, and it's just like,
Leafy.
Leafy tried so hard, but then people were like, shut the fuck up, dude. Who
Shut
cares?
the fuck up, Leafy. Go grow a chin. I'm sorry, that was mean.
Well,
Not actually.
Content Cop, I miss those
He's
days.
so funny. He's like, we're raising money for a chin implant.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Leafy was trash anyways. Yeah, he wasn't that good in the first place, so it's just kind of like, well, alright. Tried to be good, was not able to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely we're all... Oh! Speaking of, like, you know, David Dobrik, have I showed you the David Dobrik sticker possibility that me and my friend are making?
No.
So we've already made one that is Caitlyn Bennett and Lil Nas.
It's actually a pretty deal. Have you seen the Twitter beef? Because Lil Nas blocked Caitlyn Bennett, basically.
I don't know who Caitlyn Bennett is.
She's the gun girl.
Who's Gun Girl?
She's the girl that goes on camp. She started off like on this campus with like a shit ton of like automatic weapons, and then she was just pro guns, and now she just makes so many right-wing political beliefs, and every time she goes on campus it starts riots.
Yeah.
And then one time she pooped her pants, and now everyone says she poops her pants.
She pooped her pants at a party, and so people call her Poopy Pants. But she's like she's like a really right-wing conservative journalist, where she's like there should be no public education. There should be no, like, everybody should carry a gun sort of stuff.
Okay.
Very aggressive. And she made, like, this joke about Lil Nas, and she made, like, a racist joke against him, being like,
you don't
even know your dad. He's like, I know my dad, and I'm gonna fuck yours. And that's what he, like, commented on. And we're like, yeet! And so then we made this, and we called it Dancing with the Devil.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. You've already seen it. I don't know if everybody can see it on there, but probably can't. No, you can't. But then we also made one, or it's in the works right now, so this is just the outline of Elon Musk holding David Dobrik as a baby. And David Dobrik has like a little shirt. We're going to be changing it up because we don't know for sure if he's being called out for like underage girls or just underage drinking girls, if you know what I mean.
So why is Elon in it?
Because he gives out Teslas all the time.
Oh,
David Dobrik always gives out Teslas.
Yeah.
And so he's holding like a Tesla thing, and then David Dobrik has his like clickbait merch.
Yeah.
Instead we're probably gonna switch it back because we don't know for sure, but we changed it to jailbait instead. It's a little aggressive, but
I like that a lot.
It's funny, right? It's funny.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Well, because David Dobrik is known for giving underage girls alcohol. To give content.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing
that's why he got canceled in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Dobrik, because I've just never been someone that follows like super big YouTuber stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it does seem like everything that's came out about Dobrik, and then like you go back and watch some of his old content people are posting old content, and you kind of see like
there was some
fuck shit.
There was some fuck shit because the thing is, David Dobrik is our age. He's 23, so he graduated the same time we did. And so the thing is, it's like some of his just out of high school stuff is like a tiny bit excusable in a sense of like we had friends that would do the same shit, and we didn't call him out for it. But the issue with David Dobrik right this moment is there was a time, especially with his friend Dirty Dom, and they would always talk about, like, they would always make jokes that, like, Dom is going to have a sexual assault charge against him. They'd always make jokes about, like, how he's probably going to get, like, that. Well, there was one party where these girls who weren't 21 yet, they were, like, just 18, and they were all 21, 20. They gave them a shit ton of alcohol, like, feeding them alcohol. And one of the girls in particular remembers just kind of like somehow going into this apartment, and then all she remembers is someone having to put her clothes on at the end of the night because her and Dirty Dom had a threesome.
Which one's Dirty Dom?
He's just this. He was the OG one. He was at the beginning. He went to high school with David. He was like, he has shaved head and does music.
So the dude who's the old dude creeps me out.
Jason,
why does he hang out with all of them?
At first I think because it was Vine. It all started with Vine.
Yeah.
Because he was a Viner, so it started with Vine because that's how David Dobrik got big, because he knew Liza, and then from there, because they also knew Gabby, and then they also knew like a lot of OG.
But there's
Viners.
a content with like all of them that if you go back and look, it seems super sketchy.
I don't really like the thing is, I don't know with like Jason, like, because like he just became part of it because then he became like the old man and the butt of the jokes.
But didn't they like set up something where they like blindfolded a girl and then had him kiss that guy?
Yeah, actually, no, they did.
That's
some fuck shit.
Yeah.
Well, because they. Are you talking about? Because they had this one friend where they were like, $10 says we can make you make out with Jason without knowing. And he's like, you're never gonna make me do that. They did it once, like, because they think he was thinking he was gonna make out with this one hot girl in the group, and so he put on Jason put on an old man mask, pretending it was her, and then they make out, and then it really wasn't him. They did it a second time.
No.
The second time was fucked up. Because basically his friend thought he was getting a beef jerky deal. And they made this entire elaborate plan. They made a website. They had film producers. They had actors. And they basically made it into like this Sasquatch thing. Sasquatch selling beef jerky.
Well, Jack Links, that's their thing.
Yeah. And so they basically, so this guy then starts shooting a commercial, and one of the Sasquatch that he has to make out with is Jason. And so they got him again. And the thing is, then that guy got so much backlash, and also too because he didn't get paid a lot for that prank, and he thought he was getting this huge big deal, brand deal, but then it also kind of slandered him also in just general because then he was known as the guy that kept making out with Jason and got fucked over. And then he talked about David, and he was like, hey, can you just take down the video? I'm not cool with it anymore. And then David's like, come on, man, I'll just give you more money. Yeah. Just be okay with it.
Well, a bunch of the people in that group, the Vlog Squad or whatever, has come out and said that they're all awful. Like the kid who has dwarfism says that they would bully him, and
Big Nick.
Yeah, there was a African American guy who said that they were crack jokes that were inappropriate, and then
that was the Sasquatch guy.
You go back and you look at like the stuff with like Gabby, like some of the footage, and it's very like.
Oh, they were
brutal to her.
Very touchy too. Very touchy.
Yeah. To the point where I'm like, you're calling her hot, but yet you're like inappropriately touching her.
Yeah, and that's like also the thing is like I feel like a lot of it went down, especially after like him and like Liza
broke up.
You know, because that was kind of like everyone was like, oh my gosh. Goals, they're so cute, and then kind of when that ended, that's kind of when he started like his whole like Vlog Squad sort of stuff going on.
Yeah, and then it really like it blew up.
Spiraling.
Well, it spiraled because they made like that breakup video, and then since they left on good terms, the Vlog Squad blew up.
Well, then there was something with that Trisha chick who she said that like she has so much dirt on them, and
yeah,
you know, like I honestly think that they're super scummy, and I think that there's a lot of more shit that's just not coming out because this is the I've had this conversation before where like, you know, at what point do you pick money over like coming out and telling the world that there's shady shit going on?
Yeah.
So the only reason why people are talking about like the people who are in his Vlog Squad are talking about this now is because David might not be able to pay the paycheck anymore.
Yeah.
It's better to save your own reputation and continue your own channel. Because all of them have their own YouTube channel. They're not nearly as big as David, but if they can save their rap and continue on their own,
I just think it's kind of fucked. If there's shit going on that is like potentially like
harming,
like sexual harassment or harmful, like you guys waited until he's going down.
Yeah.
Like they should all be very ashamed of that if that is the case.
Oh yeah, and they should get basically like the same amount.
Well, yeah, I mean if you you stuck around because of money?
Yeah, like that's
it
contracts,
made it okay because you were getting a good payout.
Money. Yeah, it's like it doesn't make any sense.
It's
money talks, and that's the shitty part.
That's why I hope. One thing I know, Trisha Paytas or whatever, she's super controversial.
Yeah.
I kind of love her, just on the fact of she's so unhinged that I want her to like give out all the information that she like. I know she has.
Well, she kind of has on H3H3's podcast.
Yeah,
especially with like the abuse from Jason she got. Because the thing is, because she is a little bit mentally unstable, they blew her off. That's why That's why when the breakup happened between Jason and Trisha, I remember the whole thing because I remember watching both of their because Jason would call her fat all the time and just be like, we need to lose weight, we need to do all this, and like made Trisha really like self-conscious about herself and would always tear her down, even though Trisha was paying for all of Jason's bills when David wasn't, because Jason was never making money on his own. He was making money off the people he knew. Trisha, because the thing is, they also the way that the breakup went down, they made it so Trisha looked like a crazy person. They made her look crazy. They purposely did it. That's what, because she talks about it. People are actually like coming out and they're like, no, Trisha wasn't crazy at all, because there's like so many times where she's like, you guys need to be nicer to me because I can just expose you guys all right now and end your careers. And they joke about it because they know it's true, but they don't want to not say, you don't have anything on us, Trisha.
I just don't understand. Like, this is going back to what I just said. Why hasn't she?
Yeah.
What is she waiting on?
Because I know she has, she's the reason that a lot of stuff about, like, David has come out.
She is the reason. She is, like, kind of like the pivotal stone to, like, bring up a lot of stuff.
Because then she also has, like, a lot of videos and stuff like that as well, apparently.
But I think
if that's the case, then that's good. I personally don't. I don't care for her. I don't watch a lot of her content, but I think that the way that she handles herself is probably not great.
I think that's the hard part of why. I think it's the way she presents herself. It's why a lot of people have a hard time believing her, because it's like, what are you talking about? What are you even saying right now?
Well, and she gets clipped a lot saying really, really dumb shit.
Stuff, yeah.
Dumb stuff like gravity wasn't invented until Albert Einstein.
Well, I just don't get if she's a character or if she really is just not that on the ball.
I think she's just, because the thing is, Trisha didn't start on YouTube. She used to be on like reality TV shows. She was like a porn star. She's been going for 20 plus years in just the industry and just the media industry. And she's just been going, and she's just been kind of known throughout of it. Cause I watched her history, cause I was like, who is this bitch?
Yeah,
she's fucking wild. Cause she used to be on like reality TV shows, and she's still the exact same. She never changes, and I don't think it's a character, only because of who she's engaged to now. Because the thing is, he is also just that kind of like dumb.
I don't know.
She's engaged to H3's wife's brother.
Moses. And like, it's so funny because he has like a TikTok apparently, and he like will post videos of like.
Mostly about Trisha
and like how much he loves her, and it's like kind of precious because everybody sees how unhinged she is and how absolutely crazy she acts, and he's just kind of like, I love her. He's like, I love her.
He's a legit ride or die.
No, for real.
Because the thing is, H3 had Ethan and his wife had a lot of issues with her at first because they started the Frenemies podcast as like kind of like a joke.
Yeah.
And then it almost got canceled multiple times just because they had to build a friendship. Because the thing is, because then once she started dating Moses, it then became spiraling into like this whole weird, Trisha wanted to be part of the family but didn't want anything to do with the family. And it's a lot of drama that I somehow know a lot about.
Yeah, see, I don't fuck with HDH either. But that's...
Yeah.
I just don't like drama shit, and it just seems like... he's always involved in drama, and I just don't...
What he's about.
I hate drama. It's just... I don't find it entertaining either. And I know a lot of people do. And I'm not bashing anyone who does, because I know, like, I'd rather people be watching drama than making drama. Yeah. But I just... I don't... All these people, like, I don't give a shit about them.
Yeah, they're like...
You know, like, it just doesn't interest me. Like, the only thing I've ever known about Trisha is I watched her porn with Tina the Plug and... that dude with the big old wiener.
That dude with the big old wiener.
Like, that's the only thing that I really know about her, and then all the clips of her saying dumbest shit.
Yeah, no, I only first, because I mean, like, I watched a little bit of H3, like, when it was like, you know, we were like cringe kids back in the old days or whatever. And then I never really watched it until they kind of started this Frenemies podcast. Yeah. And they started this, and I'd see it would come up on my For You page with like TikTok and everything. Same. And that's how I've gotten like a lot of like the information where I'm just kind of like, what's going on?
I kept doing not interested because I don't, and
like, don't show me
I shouldn't say that I dislike them, but I just have no interest in Ethan Klein or his wife. I don't have any interest in Trisha, but I kept getting the TikToks, and I'm like, the first one I saw was funny because he like wore makeup, and I'm like, that's funny. Yeah. Maybe I'll like this, and then I saw more, and I'm like, these two people make me want to never watch TikTok ever again. Like I am so like not I don't know. Good for her though. Her bank account is.
Oh no,
I bet she's always staying relevant.
Oh no, she would always be a good sugar mama.
Well, her OnlyFans is fucking still making shit tons of money.
Yeah, I forgot that she has one of those.
I didn't know she had an OnlyFans. To be honest.
Oh, speaking of OnlyFans, TikTok people, Hawks.
She is not getting the justice she deserves, and it's fucking bullshit.
I don't know what this is.
Hawk is one of my favorite TikTokers. She's just hilarious, but the thing is, she also does OnlyFans on the side. She makes hilarious content, but it's like, she also does OnlyFans, and her main TikTok got deleted, because she brought it up again, and they just completely deleted her account, which is totally unfair because I've seen people post straight up porn on their TikTok, and then they just get deleted the video, and then they can continue on posting porn.
It's kind of like the thing where like I always get so pissed off about like TikTok's regulations. It's stupid. Yeah.
TikTok regulations are frustrating because they're inconsistent.
Yeah, exactly.
And they definitely seem more biased towards individuals.
Oh yeah, that's like I
Yeah.
see literally. I'll be scrolling. I'll see all of these TikTok videos of like girls in bikinis and stuff like that. And I remember I posted one video, and it was showing my thighs, and it got deleted almost immediately. Like once it got like enough like wrap, it got deleted, and I had to then repost and put like a thing over my legs.
Yeah.
So then I could actually post it.
Well, there's a
Thank you. I didn't realize
TikTok
that was
person that what's her name? It's like Malik Dancer or something like that, and she's partnered and like she's known for twerking.
Mhm.
Oh,
She's very
yeah.
good at twerking, and she has an audience, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But it's not like, you know, just kind of shaking your ass.
She's twerking.
She does like the full thing, like them ass be clapping.
Yeah.
So
Them
like
cheeks.
because she's partnered, it's okay. But if like other content creators
Do the same thing.
are doing that, because I mean, I've seen her content.
Mhm.
Twerking's great.
Mm-hmm.
There's been videos where like, if we're talking about shit that is bannable by your regulations, you can see her coochie, like
Yeah.
in some of her
Coochie
videos.
interview.
So why is it like? I'm fine with it. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone should be banned for it. But why is it that it's okay for her but not other content creators?
So that's what I
It's the
understand.
inconsistency that bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the thing is, Hawk had money in her account and had drafts of like her dead grandma and like her kid that she wanted to keep, and they just won't give any of it to her. They just completely are like, no, that sucks. Which is like really shitty because one, she deserves and made that money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and two, what's wrong with just sending her all the backlogs?
Yeah, like what?
No, and I don't know anything about what she did. Like, I know that they have a very hard or pretty strict new regulation on like you can't talk about OnlyFans,
Yeah.
and people try and like get through it by saying OF or, you know, some sort of variation. So I don't know if she got caught up in that, but it definitely sucks that you know she lost it all.
And the crazy thing is too, because she collabed with, I was surprised and so excited with Digital Princess, Pokey Princess.
Yeah.
And Pokey Princess is fine. She never got touched from it. But she's speaking out for her because she's like, no, it's bullshit because we both, because they
both did the same thing.
because like a lot of OnlyFans people like Hawk, especially when she does content with especially another creator, she hypes them up and does TikToks with that creator. Like she's recently doing a lot with BJ because they did new content together. But it's like, why
I want to buy her OnlyFans.
why was Hawk so hardly targeted and completely deleted?
Yeah.
But Digital Princess didn't get deleted at all.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, Digital Princess doesn't really bring up OnlyFans that much. Hawk definitely likes to make fun of the fact that she can't do it. I don't know if maybe that was like just like the last straw. But the thing is, she's not even getting any feedback to say like, oh no, you had this many tries, that's why we're doing it now.
Yeah.
Like they're just basically saying, no, you did it this one video. And she's like, I've had multiple videos. What's the problem now?
Yeah.
So like, because now it's like you can't even post like your OnlyFans tag. You have to like post your Instagram and then link tree it.
No.
Like you can, like if you bring up anything that's OnlyFans.
But it sucks because it's the direction that they want to go, right? They want it to be more of a kid friendly because that's more of their views.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it's not a kid friendly app anymore.
Yeah.
No, and that's that's the thing too is like, why don't they just make it like an 18 plus and a child's one? Like why don't they?
Yeah,
make
like you're
this
able
too?
to like choose whether
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
get that sort of feed.
It might not be that easy when they're already established.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
know.
they changed something.
Digital Princess though, making every guy want to be a punk rock drummer.
For real
Dude,
though.
I still
real.
cannot believe she got big enough that fucking Nintendo threatened to sue her. She
That
didn't
was
change her
sad.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up because the thing is that she's like, I'm still gonna buy Pokemon stuff. It's just really sad that like I now have to go through this entire change and I don't know if I can cover from it because this is my only financial money.
Yeah.
But she's fucking still killing it.
Figuring it out.
She just bought a fucking Supra.
Yeah.
A Supra. After buying her, I don't know, her other beautiful blue car that she had.
Oh my god.
Supras right now are 80 G's. That Supra that she bought is around 80 G.
Seeing all these like girls get real big off of OnlyFans and stuff like that, it's really making me question my direction.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, I want to buy
You
a
make
car.
good TikToks.
Yeah, no, straight up. I know the only ones that really get out there are ones with my booty in it.
Yeah.
And then also that one funny one with a cock.
That was
cock joke. That was hilarious.
That was a good one.
But then I misspelled something, and weirdly enough, not too many people called me
That's
out on
good.
it, and I was kind of
That's
like, cool, nice. Let's just pretend that didn't happen.
I don't know. I'm pro OnlyFans. I think that people who are mad about OnlyFans are also the guys who would be like, "Can you send me your tits?"
Yeah.
It became a business. I don't know why people are so mad.
People are like, what? There was a need.
Yeah.
They made
Welcome.
it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Honestly, more power to them.
Yeah.
It's only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
And that Digital Princess and all those people doing the collabs, genius.
Yeah. Seriously.
That's how you blow it up.
Yeah. Listen, I haven't even listened to watch any of their OnlyFans, but I sure who know who's collabing with who because I just love watching them on TikTok.
Dude,
the thing is, I just love their TikToks. They're fucking great people too.
Yeah, and they just like are fun and all that stuff, and like that's the whole thing is like they show like personality and all that stuff, and you get to know them through those videos. And then if you want, you can get sexual explicit content.
Well, I just, in my humble opinion, we need to keep pushing that it's okay to be sexual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially as a woman. Because that's something that is now finally like...
Starting to get up there.
Like, women can also be super horny all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You used to always be like, oh, no, only guys. And like, it's... I feel like TikTok is something that is finally starting to fix that narrative. Like, it's okay to be sexual. It's okay to put your body out there. I don't see the problem, but there's a lot of people who do. Why? Who the fuck cares? Don't go buy it.
Yeah.
Don't go buy it. It's that simple.
Yeah, you don't need to worry yourself with that.
Utah's a fucked up state. They're trying to ban like the hub and all that type of stuff. And that motherfucker lives up the street, by the way.
Let's jump him.
The Wheeler.
Oh really? Let's go beat his ass.
Let's just put a bunch of.
Let's get our swords. Let's go.
No, I just.
That's so annoying. That's like I remember when they first like, because I mean they did the whole like porn ban or whatever.
If you're on Wi-Fi, and you get on the hub now, and it can register your location, you get a warning that's specific for Utah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it is. I've gotten that once or twice.
You have? I haven't, and now I'm scared that I'm like.
If you're not on Wi-Fi, it'll just say 18 and plus and older.
Yeah.
It's weird when you're in the Utah Wi-Fi. It gives you a Utah warning.
Yeah.
That says like, and it just is like, it's basically like the same thing.
It says that it's like addictive and blah 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 blah.
Oh, so some dumb shit. Okay.
Some dumb shit.
Some dumb shit.
It just bothers me because like I just don't know if that some of these people who are pushing this narrative are doing it to try and look like better in the eyes of other people.
Yeah.
Do they really fucking think in their minds that banning something like that is going to make kids avoid it? You know what that does? Only makes them want to see it more.
And if anything, they're gonna find the more fucked up shit faster.
Yeah, because they're gonna be doing deep searches instead of just like surface based.
Yeah.
Anytime anyone in my life has ever told me not to go do something and they don't give me a valid reason, I immediately am going to go see what it is.
You're like, all right, cool, because like they're literally their only thing is they're like, oh, it ruins your marriage in the future and it's addictive, and you know you don't want to be addicted to porn. It's like.
You know what you do? Especially if you're worried about your kids, you have a conversation about porn with them.
Yeah, and be like, hey, dude, I don't know.
It's just simple. Talk to your fucking children.
Talk to your children.
Yeah, talk to your children.
Hey, listen, there's this thing out there called porn, right?
Yeah.
There's some, I'm sure you're going to explore. We need to have a conversation about it. Here's some things to keep in mind. Porn isn't a reality.
Uh-huh.
It's made up. They do it to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It can affect your wiener if you're not careful, and it can put unrealistic expectations on your sex life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go be safe, please.
Yeah. And
like, are those conversations that hard to have?
Everything in moderation.
No. And then it's like, I also don't understand why people are so against like OnlyFans in the sense of like, it's ethically sourced. It's literally just ethically sourced porn. Your money is going directly to the creator when when you're just watching from regular streaming services and stuff like that, you don't know where it's come from. You don't know how that person is treating it or how much they're getting from this video.
Well, that's why the hub had to change up why they had to delete all those videos, is because there was lots of shit coming out that there may be people who are being forced to do videos.
Yeah.
So now you have to be a creator that is verified. Yeah. Which is smart. Very good call on that.
Oh yeah.
Should be a.
But people who have a problem with OnlyFans are the same people who are worried that like and this is a hot take, but like worried that their spouse is going to go cheat, or worried that there's like if they're watching something else that they're going to not be interested in me. If you're worried about that, why aren't you having a conversation?
That's like those girls that like will message other like influencers on Instagram or Twitter and be like, hey, I noticed that my boyfriend's following you. Can you like make them unfollow you?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, I noticed my boyfriend like likes your stuff and follows you. Can you like make them unlike it or something? And they're like, oh yeah, girl, I'll get you back. I'll force them. I'll block them. No worries. Like, I've never talked to them. And they're like, thanks, you stupid skank. You're an ugly bitch, and I hate you.
Yeah, and it's like, what?
It's like, I just did a favor for your boyfriend looking at me. Maybe talk to your boyfriend. Why are you getting mad at me for just creating stuff that you?
I have the same. I have the same opinions on people who are in the sex work industry.
Oh. No reason. Don't do it.
Yeah, the people who work in this like sex work industry, as far as like sex work. Mm-hmm. Why is it illegal? It's going on. Mm-hmm. People are going to do it regardless of what the law is, and all it's doing is creating unsafe environments.
Yeah.
If it's legal, guess how easy it is to not go partake in. You just don't go partake.
You just don't.
Yeah. It's like alcohol being legal. It's like weed being legal.
Yeah.
I just feel like people there's this part of people who are just so worried that like if these things become legal that their partner is like, oh, I can go fuck down the street. Well, later, maybe you're not in the right relationship there, brother. Like,
yeah, it's like if they rather go have sex with somebody they have no connection to whatsoever.
Maybe if they're craving sex that much, maybe there's a different conversation that needs to be had. It all breaks down to communication. It just drives me nuts that these things are so frowned upon. It's not hard to communicate. If you're worried that your if your partner watches porn or is on OnlyFans or might want to hire a sex worker, that means that you're lacking communication in your relationship.
Mm-hmm. That means you need to talk about it and see what you're okay with, what they're okay with, and what your solution is in your relationship. And if you don't want to be together anymore, like if that's just obviously not something that's compatible, like you want different things in those situations, or if like, for all you know, maybe the partner's like, actually, I'm cool if you hire a sex worker every now and again because I'm not as like, that's not, I don't have as high of a sexual drive, and I'm totally fine with that because you're the one, like, we have this connection, and I know you don't have a connection with that person, but it's just like a release. That's
the thing that at my core belief, I truly think the reason why a lot of people are scared or hate these things is because they don't know how to communicate with their partner and they think that it's going to ruin whatever they have.
Yeah.
And if you're that scared that something so small can ruin it, then it's going to get ruined anyways just because of that fact alone. Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, I don't know. I get jealousy. I just don't get jealousy because the thing is, it's like, I don't know.
Jealousy's a fickle bitch, and I think that for some people, jealousy can be overwhelming, and they don't know how to control it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, I was with someone in my past life who was very jealous to the point where it was like if this was going on right now, like me here with you two, problem.
Oh.
Problem. Even though we're established friends.
Yeah.
Problem.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Yeah,
because that person couldn't communicate, hence why they got dumped.
Yeah,
because you just can't. It just blows my mind that people, and maybe it's our generation, and we're just looking at the boomers who just can't communicate with each other, and that's the real problem. But like, it ain't hard to communicate your wants and desires, and if your wants and desires aren't what your partner wants, is it too much? Maybe you're not the right partner.
It's like
I
heard something recently on, I think it was on TikTok actually, where I was like, yo, that's actually a really amazing way to think about it, where it's like when you come to talk to your partner about something, especially like new relationships especially, is you start the conversation with a wish, a want, what is it? It's like wish, want, and walk. So it's like you wish like the highest of your expectations, like she made like an example of like defining the relationship in a sense, like talking to the person you're with, wanting to define the relationship. A wish would be that you start dating. The want is kind of like maybe you're just exclusive. And then the walk is they don't want to be exclusive whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like you have like your certain baselines, and then you also have like a middle ground, and you kind of have that already figured out in a sense. So then when you have the conversation, you're able to work around that, and you're able to figure out for yourself, because I feel like people, especially in communicating with each other, sometimes you kind of get caught up in the moment and will be like, yeah, sure, whatever, or, oh, actually, no, that's not what I want. Oh, wait, no, that is what I want, just because they're not actually fully decided and they don't want to work it through with their partner.
Yeah.
They just kind of are like, and it's just like a way of communication that doesn't really work.
There's a piece of advice that I always give anyone who is getting into a newish relationship, or one that's like starting to get established.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds super dumb, but I promise you, it is super, it's a great way to really see colors.
Mm-hmm.
Google questions, either controversial questions, relationship questions, sex questions, life questions, goal questions. There's lists. There's people who make money making these lists.
Yeah.
Pick some, go through them, and each other question, one person has to answer first. So one person can't always answer first at the same time.
Oh.
So question 1, I would answer first. Question 2, Bieber would answer first. So that way it puts each person on the spot. You can ask Bieber how many times we've gone through these. Tons of them.
Bieber, how many times have you gone through?
Like, I mean, I'll go find questions on the internet and we'll just sit there and we'll go through them and just answer. Because, like, it's building a better bond. You're getting to see the true colors. You're getting put on the spot to answer questions that might be hard questions to answer. But, like, it's also giving you that vision of, like, oh, well, maybe we really are, like, meant to be. Or, like, oh, well, they think that. I don't know if that lines up with what I want.
Yeah, like
is that something that I can...
a deal breaker, or...
Yeah, is that something that I can be okay with? Is that not... Like, it's just... Some people think it's super corny, but, like, people make money to make those lists to talk.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good...
It's a great icebreaker, too, if you're, like, early on, like, hey, I got these, like, silly questions. You want to, like...
Want to go through them?
Who doesn't like answering questions?
Yeah, no, learning more about the person is very important.
Yeah, we went off our topic quick.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Apologies.
We've been going for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, we should probably wrap it up. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yes, thank you.
It's always a pleasure to get you two on and have some fun and
mess around.
Shoot the shit.
Hey. Sorry we kind of went off topic. You know, we just like conversation.
As per usual, shout out where you guys can be found, what you got going on, podcasts and social media.
Books, Coffee Bees, or Holly Lee 17 is my Instagram.
I got Cassidy TBH is my Instagram, and then Apostassy, ASSY is my Twitter, and then we're both on the Holly Kass Mess Around on Twitch.
Yes.
Give us a follow.
You guys are
we go
shooting for every Monday.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna try and do more stuff at some point, but that's also probably going to come in
the future. Probably around the summertime.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to I'd like to have like a more of like every episode like so it's like 3 days out of the week we do one episode, one type.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. But we'll get there.
At some point.
And then Top Shelfer wise, you guys know every Friday, 6 p.m. we're here with a new interview. Next week, let me look at my calendar. I think next week's going to be a fun one. So, yeah. Next week, for those of you who watch Anime Allies or have watched Top Shelfers from the early stages, Manuel is coming on with his wife and their new baby.
Baby!
So, we're going to have a baby on the podcast again. The second baby to ever be on the podcast.
Oh, really?
Dope.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about that. And the reason why I'm excited about that is we're going to talk about what it's like to be new parents. And that is a very fascinating thing because, you know, you just...
Especially as not a parent, I'm always curious on how new parents are doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because the thing is like... What I've heard is nobody tells you exactly what to do. Like, the thing is it's literally, they just kind of give you a human being, and they're like, here you go.
The first one that I had on, their baby was very new. I think he was under 1, and maybe around 1. And his name is James. Shout out James, man. If you're
Shouts
watching,
out James.
miss you a lot. You know, he talked about becoming a father and how like it didn't really hit that he was a dad for a long time. That he almost felt like, you know, not exiled, but like that it wasn't like real. Like mentally, he just like couldn't understand it or couldn't fathom it, and he was like kind of distanced from the baby because he just didn't like. It's something you can like a lot of fathers go through this.
Yeah.
But then like it finally kicked, like it finally hit him. It was really fascinating to kind of get that mind perspective on something because like he just like he was a father actively, but like it just didn't register. Like he just it's weird, like a mental cloud almost. But super excited for that. Gaming is coming back Monday through Thursday, starting next week. Get some gaming. I know you guys were liking those streams. And then Shadowlands of Utah starting up soon. Filming starting up soon. Shooting for August. Release date for the first episode. And then thanks again to our sponsors, Monarch Social, Dark Prime Collectibles, Happiest. Appreciate you guys sponsoring the podcast and hope everything is turning out good on your end. And then as far as closing... Wes plays the question games all the time.
Love it.
Love it. And then as far as closing, y'all cute. Bye.
Bye.